One of their CEOs wrote in an internal email to employees per Bloomberg. There were reports multiple people lost their jobs, too.
Yeah. I would imagine. I mean, they were completely unprepared for the group they got, or the crowd they got.
So what is up with the Jake Paul?
Yeah, could they not find a better photo of that guy?
Yeah, that's them trying to make him look bad.
That was what Taylor Korn was talking about, I guess.
I guess Little T was right.
He doesn't have it sucked in there.
He's got a whole bucket of KFC.
He does have that, yeah.
By the way, a lot of candles are like $300.
What?
Yeah.
For a candle? That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, candles can get expensive.
Holiday Grand, $295.
Where are you looking?
Just on Google, best candles. Himalayan salt and rose water, $190. Spiced pumpkin latte from Voluspa, $225.
I mean, just like wine, people will spend a certain amount. Like, I don't have a problem with close to $100 candle, but it's bigger. It's going to burn for a couple of weeks.
Joe Malone London English, $540.
I ain't paying $540 for a candle.
Me either. Joe Malone need to come sing a song for me.
What was Paltrow's? What was her candle? I mean, what did it cost? I think it was a couple of $100.
I think it was reasonable.
I don't know. It sold out, whatever the price point was.
Yep.
And finally, officers with the Upland Police Department responded to an unusual rescue at a hospital on Monday night. At around 9 p.m., officers received a report of a person who had broken through the ceiling tiles in the restroom of an emergency room at a San Antonio Regional Hospital. Now, the man who officers believed to be high on drugs caused $5,000 in damages to the ceiling, electrical, and HVAC system. Surveillance footage showed the man had entered the restroom but did not come out. Quote, due to the extremely confined space, maze of wires, plumbing, HVAC lines, etc., officers had to use a pole camera to look into the ceiling. The man had appeared to be stuck on top of a large HVAC unit and wedged under the steel beam in complete darkness. To make it worse for him, I don't know how in the hell you do this to yourself, he was arrested for felony vandalism.
I mean, I like that we blur his face. Let's don't.
Is that his key fob next to him?
No, it looks like a little disposable vape.
Oh, that's what it is.
Yeah.
It is a vape. Yeah,
he's got a sweet.
At least he's got that with him while he's stuck in the.
You're gonna want that.
Is that a sweet serpent tattoo on his right bicep?
Would you want to be stuck face up or face down?
Face up.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, I was thinking face down.
Yeah, face down probably for me.
Really? Why?
I don't know.
Face up, you got more space. You don't feel as constrained.
It doesn't
And
look
at
like
least you're laying on your back.
Yeah.
Looks like he's stuck breathing right into that thing right above his head.
You think that's probably bad for the respiratory system?
I would imagine, yeah.
And then when the little rats start nibbling your toes, stop it. Can't sleep. That's trash brought to you by
our friends at Mortgage Right. Is that Todd Jones?
Todd Jones.
Coming in for the close.
Before you take the next steps on a new home purchase or refinance, talk with the team at Mortgage Right. There is no cost or obligation to find out what you qualify for. You get more information by going to their website, mortgageright.com. Call the 280 office, 205-900-7200, NMLS 2239, Equal Housing Lender.
Todd Jones says, Officer Bart, would you please take your shoes off before you get on my shoulders here? This just goes sock feet.
I mean, I think I'd rather the shoes than sock feet, honestly.
Okay, Hemp Hill bringing you final thoughts here, which will be our guarantees from back on Friday, brought to you by Hemp Hill. Tell us about Hemp Hill.
205-229-2090. Hard to stop a train. For more information, hemphillservices.com.
Bring them up, Forrester, if you can, real quick. These were our guarantees. That is Brownie on top. 5 SEC teams will make the 12-team playoffs.
Oh, I'm alive.
Still alive. Nebraska beats Iowa and costs the Big Ten a college football playoff
Not going to happen, but they could beat Iowa.
Dylan Gabriel will win the Heisman.
Yep, I'm going to miss that.
Yeah, in the hunt. Florida will make a bowl game.
You got it.
In the hunt. All Big Ten national championship in the hunt.
In the hunt.
Nebraska will win more games than Oklahoma.
In the hunt.
In the hunt.
Okay. Yeah. LT, Bobby Petrino will be the Arkansas head coach in 2025.
No,
in the hunt.
In the hunt.
Yeah.
Oh, in 2025.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
September 29th will decide the group of 5 college football rep. Was that Boise State?
No.
What game was that?
I think it was
Tulane and somebody, right?
Tulane in South Florida, maybe?
Okay.
Maybe. Texas A&M beats Texas, goes to the college football
Still alive.
playoff. We did good.
EG's still going to have the best of all time if hers hits.
Yeah, 2 group of 5s, and we did what?
Laughter off the show. EG, take this serious next year, please.
Please. Bold predictions. All right, we're back with you tomorrow, 9 a.m. Central Time. Until next time, God bless you and God bless America.
Call the next round now at 205-734-0923. Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the next round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Man, here we go live on a Friday now. Can't wait to get going. LSU fan King MJ 205, it's happening. Sirens, I don't know what's happening for him. Maybe it's just the show. Maybe he's fired up about that. Or maybe
the show is happening. Or
maybe it's what happened yesterday in Baton Rouge, and maybe he's not a Brian Kelly fan. Maybe he wants a change. We'll get into that as we get going today. Fun stuff coming up. Todd Fuhrman just after 10. We'll react to what we saw last night in football, including our first snow game of the year, at least the first one I've seen. We've got our Buffalo Wild Wings Pick 3. Next to last weekend of doing the Pick 3, so you have a chance to get in for the grand prize with our friends at Buffalo Wild Wings. If you go right now to nextroundlive.com, nextroundlive.com, all the way up until kickoff Saturday morning. You can make your plays there. All you have to do is pick 3 winners. If you haven't played all year, no big deal. You only need 1 win to get into the drawing. And our giveaway this year, 250 is the key number.
Yeah, 250 in our merch. Right here from the next round, you see, Dunaway doesn't have any on. No, neither does Brown, but you see this hat. We do have some great merch there from the hoodies, the T-shirts, the hats, and then also a $250 gift card from Buffalo Wild Wings. You can use it at any of those 11 Central Alabama locations, the Buffalo Wild Wings Go location. So you can use it on yourself. You can use it to throw a little holiday party, whatever you want to do, your discretion. But yes, Dunaway is right. 250 is the number. And that's all from the fine folks at Buffalo Wild Wings.
I'm just telling you, I'm brand loyal today. The boys have the car running good today, and
yeah, you got that old Coke hat on.
Got the Coke Zero.
That's a good looking Coke hat.
Yeah, so we're rolling into a weekend with our friends at Coca-Cola.
You got to drink it into the camera like a good NASCAR driver.
So I don't know what direction you're going to go here. You sent me a text last night, and I told you I didn't see it until after the fact because I was in Gladiator 2.
Which I'm hearing rave reviews about.
Yeah, there's some holes, but I thought it was very, very entertaining.
Is there a chance that you are too critical when you watch a movie?
No. I mean, I think the problem is, and I know this, and I think most people do with sequels, you're just not going to get what you get with the original and something that is basically a masterpiece. And for a film that came out in 2000 and the way that thing was done, I thought was incredible. But it pays a lot of homage to the original. Here's one thing I don't get with the Sharks, and I know.
So the Sharks were in there, okay.
Yeah, but I had the discussion. Me and Jack and Maddie went, and Maddie's like, you can do such a good T-Rex with CGI. How come they can't do a shark with CGI? They just don't get it right.
You're right. It's always bad.
It's because we know what a real shark looks like.
We don't know what a real.
You've never seen a T-Rex in real life.
Good point.
Yeah, plenty of real footage of sharks.
That's true. The animation of the T-Rex could look nothing like the T-Rex, but it's the only thing we've ever had.
But I think some
scientists are saying T-Rexes had feathers.
Yeah,
let's
I think
tap the brakes on
some
that.
of them did.
Yeah, look at a bird's feet.
Some of them did. I do believe that, but. I think what LT is saying, and correct me if I'm wrong, LT, it's not the look of it. It's just like
it's the movement.
It's the movement, and it's almost fuzzy and cartoonish.
Well, it's just, those same damn things were all over the arena. And one guy falls out of a boat, he's getting chomped down.
Now, I've heard, or somebody that I think is a student of history, when we talked about this one day, sent us a message somewhere or texted me or something. And said historically they used to fill it with water and put alligators in there.
That would make more sense.
Yeah,
right.
I think it's going to be easier to catch an alligator than a shark.
Yeah, that was my whole thing. Like, how do you? Well, first of all, the CGI was bad on the shark, but how do you transport the shark into the arena
in that day and age?
It's going to be very difficult.
Seems like a pain in the ass.
Like if you filled Bryant Denny with water and wanted to get sharks in there, I think you'd have a difficult time today.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think that would be particularly easy for Greg Byrne. Like, if Greg Byrne was like...
easier to get the alligators in.
Yeah, I think much easier to get an alligator.
I don't want to doubt the Romans. I
just
think
the shipping of it all is where I go
it's very
back to,
difficult.
Right?
Very
difficult. The Romans were great architects, and look, they put together a great civilization, and I think their debauchery and their indulgence probably took them down.
Yeah. Grand Prix in Vegas this weekend. Oh, I'm sorry, debauchery Vegas. I just all of a sudden went there. Can you imagine that weekend in Vegas?
Oh no,
it has to be like the fights in Rome. Probably there's all sorts of stuff going on.
It was cool how they did certain things. Like the carnage was much more than number one. than the original Gladiator. There were a lot more action. I didn't think the storyline was as good, but I mean, they put it together. I mean, I agree with you. I think it was an 80 to 85. Well worth the watch.
Well, we're down to the gladiators, if you will, of our college football season. You got to survive and advance this weekend. You know, we haven't really had one of those major upset weekends that really have snow globed the season yet.
Uh-oh. Wow.
And I don't know if it can happen this weekend.
Well, it certainly could.
I mean, we've had some upsets along the way, but not just that one Saturday where everything cratered.
Well, I'll tell you what could happen this Saturday, and I don't think it will happen. Like, I think Notre Dame beats Army soundly. But if Army was to beat Notre Dame, they're done.
There's one.
If Alabama loses to Oklahoma.
There's two.
Ole Miss loses to Florida.
There's three. I mean, Auburn beating Texas A&M will be a bit of a snow globe. A&M is still alive for this thing. That would knock them out.
Indiana beating Ohio State really does nothing. Ohio State, unless they destroy Indiana.
I wouldn't say it does nothing because I think it locks Indiana in. Like, I still don't think Indiana with a loss is locked in.
I do.
I do not.
They could lose 35-7. I think they're still locked in.
I disagree with you on that. I'm not saying they don't get in. I'm just saying it's not a given. A win would make it a given, and then I do think a win wouldn't knock Ohio State out, but it would put Ohio State in a precarious position where they're probably having to come play in an SEC stadium.
Yeah, and I think the problem for Indiana now is it's been in the committee's ear. Hey, if this team gets blown out, what are you guys going to do with them? What are you going to do with them? And so I do think if they get walked off the field, which I don't think they will get walked off the field, I think they could be out. So we could have that snow globe. I think it's going to be next weekend. I really do.
Well, we've been waiting for that one all year. I mean, just think about if Arizona State beats BYU and Kansas beat Colorado. Both of those are possibilities. And Army somehow shocked the world. We're looking at 2 Group of 5 teams likely making the playoffs at that point.
EG's dream come true.
This Army story.
I mean, that's within reach.
It's not crazy, no.
You know, Army's been kind of off the radar, too.
Yeah.
And, you know, they finally get Bryson Daly back for that North Texas game. If you watch that game, it was just an absolute debacle if you had the mean green plus the 6, because they went up and down the field. They just couldn't get in the end zone. But Army has not played a top 50 offense. They have not played a top 50 defense. They have beaten one, and I'll give them credit. They're 9-0. They're their highest rated since 1926. But they have not. They've only beaten one team with a winning record.
Hey, JB with a good one. Do you guys think the Gladiator franchise has jumped the shark? That's a good line. Thank you, JB. MyBookie.ag chat room.
It's where it's where that phrase. I mean, that's an actual moment in a TV show.
Yeah. That was the Fonz.
The Fonz, water skiing, and he jumped a shark.
Rick Ross, Auburn, shaking my head. I work for Coca-Cola, and I can't even get a Coke hat that nice Dunaway.
That is a cool hat. I like that hat. The day they gave you that hat, I liked it.
And, you know, I haven't worn it a lot. Unlike a lot of my next round hats, I've eventually worn them so much, and then eventually on the golf course, I need a new set of gear from up here because I've just worn it to death for 3 years. But
it holds up well.
This one's a good hat. I've only worn it twice, I think, both on the air.
Yeah.
It's pristine.
I like that the rope hat has come back. Like the rope hat went out for a little bit. It was big in the 80s. I like
it's
that.
It's my favorite next round hat. That I think LT designed it. The blue one.
I did not.
You didn't?
Mm-mm.
I don't know who came up with it.
No, I don't know. Somebody did. Doesn't really matter.
Yeah. Maybe I did. I don't know. Yeah. But it was that's my favorite one. So
I like rope hats.
Okay, we'll get to college football. Our Buffalo Wild Wings pick 3 and all of that. Cam Newton
every day. He's determined to dress as the villain in a Western movie that wants to blow up the train for the money.
Yeah, I don't want to upset our friend Ashley. I think Ryan Clark looks like a space ambassador, the guy that would run a wedding in Star Wars.
Yeah,
I don't like. I love Ryan Clark on the air. I don't like his look, but it gets so diminished because when you throw Cam Newton up next to him,
nobody's suit can match what Cam Newton has on. Look,
yeah, I mean,
look
it's
at that outfit.
It's ridiculous, and really. With all the accessories and everything, he's probably wearing $25,000-$30,000.
I mean, he's got 7 layers on. It looks like. It looks like he has 4 shirts and a jacket on.
Yeah, he always looks very hot to me.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know where he does his live hits from, but he looks like.
I mean, my God. Yeah. No, he did one from like Southern University a couple of weeks ago, and it was like 90 degrees, and him and Shannon Sharp are dressed to the nines, and they're sweating their asses off because they have so many layers on. I like layers when it's cold. Yeah.
1, 2, 3. It looks like he has 2 jackets on, 4 shirts.
He's like a nesting doll. It just keeps opening.
This is
I
funny.
promise, honey, I'm home.
You brought up
just light a candle or something. I'll get there.
This will be a typical Friday show. We'll be all over the place. But you brought up our first snow game. But after the movie, we got to walk-ons to watch the second half. And it went from nothing to a blizzard in a second. But you could tell it wasn't really cold there, Like
it was right at 32, 31, 32 degrees.
Like nobody really had sleeves on. It wasn't. You looked around the crowd, you saw a bunch of fat guys with their shirt off.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't like Miami at Kansas City in the playoffs last year. It wasn't that cold.
But the downpour of snow was like some of the most I've ever seen.
It was like, you guys remember watching the old Mississippi State Independence Bowl, right? The snow game.
Right.
And it seemed like that game went from, oh, look, it's snowing, to I can't see yard lines in like 30 seconds. And that's what happened last night.
Yeah, I mean,
they came back from halftime and you couldn't see the yard lines.
Those big ass snow shovels, they were blowing snow off the hash marks.
Yeah.
That was a fun game to watch.
It really was.
And a bad loss for Pittsburgh. We did have Cleveland plus the points last night. Man, when Pittsburgh came back and took that lead, I was like, they're going to steal one here. And
then they got the turnover, and I thought that's exactly what they needed.
Did you guys look at that? Scotty's got the
I mean, what a photo that is.
Yeah, I love photos like that. Yeah. Better than the videos.
See, that's the perfect snow weather where it doesn't really ice. It's not cold enough, and you just get the good powder.
You just get right at 31 degrees. I mean, that was a very entertaining football game. The snow made it more entertaining.
And I know they called illegal touching. Did you guys think it was a grounding on Jameis Winston? That was going to be a big call.
Yeah, it was going to be a big call.
Because, then after the illegal touching, it was going to be 4th and 2 or 3rd and 7, and Mike Tomlin decided to enforce. They go 3rd and 7. They're showing it on our right TV right there. I thought it was grounding. And grounding in that situation probably takes them out of, a scoring situation.
Yeah, that is true. Like, it's not just penalty's a penalty. One was lost it down and one.
Yep.
Yeah. So that was a big moment in the game. You're absolutely right.
4th and 2. Is my call there. It's easy to say after the completed pass.
It is. What, for Pittsburgh, you mean? You would take, like, if you're Tomlin, you force them into 4th and 2?
Yeah. I think the fear at 4th and 2 was they might try to kick this. They're in range if it's normal conditions.
Good luck.
Yeah, and that mess.
I mean, Jerry Jeudy found a little pocket on 3rd and 7, and, the rest is history.
And Jameis Winston finished that drive 9 plays, 45, and Cleveland with the win last night, 24-19. Myles Garrett was great. Snow game. It was terrific. That was the NFL last night. Lance'sLike.com for the college football tonight and through the weekend. Our show today being brought to you by a couple of great folks, and we'll get into college football, college basketball, all the developing stuff that's out there. A couple of our great sponsors. One of them, our friends at the Golfus.
The Golfus is the place to go. Let me tell you about the Golfus. I was Michael, the owner there, sent me a message yesterday. I wanted to pass this on. This is a great idea for Christmas parties, all right, and holiday parties at the Golfus. Gift certificates are available there. They've just opened, and you can book your holiday party for up to 50 people. If you're looking for a unique place for a holiday party, the Golfus is that place. It is golf simulators, the best in Birmingham. You could play hundreds of courses you know, courses you love, courses you've seen on TV over the years. You can play those at the Golfus. You bring your own clubs if you want to. You bring your own food and drink. They've got TVs there so you can do watch parties for the big games. They've got a location right there in Vestavia on Highway 31. They've got a new one coming to Highway 280 soon and Trussville soon within the next couple of months. Go ahead and book your holiday parties. Get all the information I'm talking about. thegolfus.com. That is their website. thegolfus.com. Get out of the office, get into the Golfus. It's a fun place.
Yeah, you've seen the bad office parties before. How about Angela and Pam would have been on the same page with their Christmas party if they would have gone to the Golfus, right?
Would Phyllis like this one?
I mean, we have been at these Christmas parties before, and look, and a lot of time corporate, they've only got so many different things they can do, but when you're sitting around and you're eating very average food and you're just staring at the same person and you're in the office, get them out, let them explore, let them have a little fun. It's a great place.
Thegolfus.com for all that information.
Yeah. And our friends at Michelson.
205-969-8100. That is the number you need to call. I called more than 2 decades ago. I had the 2200 vision. I was legally blind without the aid of contacts. Now 2015 vision, better than 2020. Call 205-969-8100. Ask for Amy. Tell her the next round sent you. They're going to hook you up with an absolutely free consultation. You have 0 to lose to find out if LASIK is right for you. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, best in the business. 205-969-8100 or michelsonlaservision.com.
A big moment in recruiting yesterday. and everyone that watches our show is having fun with our buddy Matt Moscano down in Baton Rouge, who spent a long time after the Nick Saban retirement on his platforms with flames going and how Alabama was burning and da-da-da-da-da. And then Alabama went down there and beat LSU. And then, there was a discussion being talked about after especially the LSU loss at Florida. God, how happy are LSU fans with Brian Kelly? And it was something we talked about on the show. And there was a discussion at one point that, man, at least with Bryce Underwood committed, the nation's #1 quarterback, that gets you some good grace looking to the future if you're BK and that LSU fan base. Well, some had been predicting that it could happen, and last night it happened. Bryce Underwood flips from LSU to Michigan, and Moscano says he heard the offer got up to $12 million for his time that he'll spend in Michigan. We know Dave Portnoy of Barstool said he'd kick in $3 million. He was taking a victory lap last night. What do you make of this and what it does to BK?
Yeah, I do think it is a hit, especially when you've already got 3 losses in season. And basically for LSU fans, the season was a disaster in year 3 under Brian Kelly. The Underwood kid, he looks to be the real deal. Talking to somebody involved in a collective a couple of days ago, they said there is no chance this number is real. I don't know what is, what isn't.
All right, let's say it's doubled. So he's now getting $6 million.
Yeah, I mean, it's still a ton of money.
It's still a ton of money.
Yeah, but let's say if it's $12 million, let's say you're getting it's a 3-year commitment. You're getting $4 million a year. There's go ahead and it's a $12 million. There was a sportscaster one time in Birmingham. I won't name any names, but Will Reichert likes him a lot. There was a contract that was announced in the Birmingham News back in the day that upset a lot of us other sportscasters in Birmingham because it was sportscaster, they had his name in the headlines, signs $1 million contract.
Well, how long was the contract?
That's the key.
Yeah.
That's
was it
the
10
key.
years?
The headline
I think they did that with us back in the day.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah,
they did. That happened one time with
us.
us, and it had to be.
A 10-year deal between 3 guys. I mean, start breaking down the math.
Yeah, I remember there was that, Jock's Roundtable signs. And, I mean, it was a multi-million-dollar deal, and everybody's like, God, y'all cashed in. I'm like, wait. The way that was reported might have been a touch misleading.
Here's the way I see it, though. I think Nussmeier's got another year, right, if he wants it.
Yeah, and who was on our air yesterday saying that Nussmeier will come back? Orlovsky.
So that's the thing. If you're Nussmeier, what's a better situation? The Underwood kid is a true freshman, never taken a snap at this level, or Nussmeier? Nussmeier's a better option. Underwood at Michigan, compared to anything they've got, I don't care. He's got to be better than that.
Would you take the known in Nussmeier or the unknown in Underwood? One has to start for you next year.
Oh, unknown in Underwood.
I think just next year I would take Nussmeier. I think the Underwood kid's going to be a stud.
I'd take the unknown in Underwood because I've seen Nussmeier this year with a pretty good receiving core make a lot of mistakes.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he can get any better than what he's shown at times this year. But here's the deal. This kid's from Michigan. He was coming to play LSU. I'm not going to say that he's, money's not a factor no matter where you go. I'm not saying, obviously money's a factor for him to go to Michigan too. But if you watch his commitment video last night, and I did, and I'm the emotional one, I teared up a little bit.
Why so?
They got little Bryce Underwood, and his dad's doing a mock.
He ain't little.
Yeah, but no, when he's a kid.
Oh, okay.
Like just a little bigger than little T's Lincoln.
Yeah.
He's probably like 5, 6, 7 years old. And they got him a fake microphone, and the dad's doing an interview, and he says, I'm going to take my talents to Michigan. And, different times showing up, he's got a Michigan, like we wear. He's got the Hutch Michigan helmet on. It was his dream when he was a little kid to play for Michigan. Now, I know there's $12 million, $10 million, $8 million is why he's flipping from LSU to Michigan. But now you get the money and you get your childhood dream. Pretty good situation for Bryce.
Well, it is, and I think it's got, look, Michigan has just shown us with really good quarterback play they can win a national championship. Now, can they without Jim Harbaugh and with Sharon Moore? Sharon Moore has not been impressive this year, but he's also not had a quarterback.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think it's going to be so different. I think what Harbaugh did for that culture, and he built that thing up. It was like 10 wins, and then you got the slow build with what that team closed off with the 15-0 last year, and then having 15 guys drafted. I think he's going to be great ultimately. I just don't know if Moore's going to be able to build around him.
Great point here from Matt. I'm going to trust him on this one. If Michigan didn't get Underwood, it would have been the 3rd consecutive year where they missed out on a 5-star quarterback from inside their state. Dante Moore who was UCLA to Oregon now, and C.J. Carr, who's at Notre Dame.
And neither one of those guys play it.
Yeah. No, they're not.
But I just think...
But you got to take care of your state, right?
I guess they would have played in Michigan, though.
You'll see... Well, let me say this from the LSU side, though, because that's the... What?
Stephen updating us on the stat there. $10 million over 4 years, including win-based, championship-based incentives that get it to $12 million, the Detroit Free Press.
I'm far more interested, obviously, in the LSU angle in this, right? If he goes and wins at Michigan, that I'll enjoy watching him on TV.
I don't know if Detroit Free Press, I'll let you get to your point. There is going to be different rules and regulations on these numbers. So I don't know how they can just come out and lay that number out without being able to back it up and say, this is where this is going and this is how we've justified. I mean, there's a lot more complications when it comes to collectives and how you pay NIL dollars starting, this year and even magnifying more or growing more next year.
Yeah. You just wonder if it gets grandfathered in.
Yeah, I mean, there's some of that. A lot of the rules, frankly, again, are taxing to discuss, and they are a little bit confusing. But when you talk
including
to people,
the taxes.
Yeah, when you talk to people in the industry, they're saying what Lance is saying is these deals are not going to continue because the rules are about to change on this, right? And the tax rules have already changed, which makes it far more complicated because now even the biggest booster can't throw in $10 million and get the tax deduction that he would like to get that he once could, right? But the LSU side of this is what this does for Brian Kelly. And this morning, the first tweet I saw, or first response I saw, go Tigers 1986. He should, Brian Kelly should be walking in Joe Sloan's office saying, you're fired. Sloan's the offensive coordinator. They brought him with the idea of getting Underwood. They thought he had the connection to get Underwood. Like LSU fans,
they want to head on a spike.
They do. It's already going bad for LSU this year. This is a bad month for Brian Kelly, a really bad month for Brian Kelly. He started the month by getting walked out of his own stadium by Alabama, getting eliminated for the playoffs in the process. They then rebound with a poor performance at Florida. Not as embarrassing as the Alabama loss, but a poor performance. And then Brian Kelly had some really bad moments on camera in that game.
100%.
And then you follow that up by losing the number one recruit in the country. It's been a bad November for Brian Kelly.
T-Bob react last night?
I didn't see that. I'll see if I can find something.
They did. What's their show? T and Moscano and him, they do T and something.
T and Scone?
Can we play some of these reactions?
Scone, yeah.
I mean, if we can find them. I don't. Yeah. So what T and Scone do?
Oh, they went crazy. Yeah.
That's what they do every time. That's all I ever see with those guys.
It was a lot like the loss after the wine and cheese.
Yeah.
Or whatever they do after the
whiskey and wine.
Whiskey and wine. Yeah, whiskey and wine. Yeah.
Yeah. There was a lot of screaming.
Okay, so if you're an LSU fan today, I know you're not happy. It's year 3. The teams have gotten worse every year. It seems like. I still think he's a really good coach. I think I'm one of the few that's holding on to this. I mean, what do you do?
It gets harder to defend it. Like I was with you all the time, but it's harder and harder and harder to defend it.
But is it really worth resetting at LSU? And who are you going to go out and get? I mean, I know that a lot of coaches would line up for that job.
That LSU job's a good spot. I don't think you fire him this year by any stretch of the imagination.
John Summerall.
But I have he's right there in the state.
Yep.
I have expected more out of Brian Kelly at LSU. He has underdelivered based on my expectations. Now, my expectations could have just been wrong. But the people that are inside that program have to make that choice. I think it's safe to say next year feels like a pivotal year for him.
College football playoff or bust.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, we're not done with this year. They get Vandy tomorrow. I don't know what's the point spread on that.
7.
Last time Vandy won in Baton Rouge, 1951.
This, I mean, the way, as 51. You pointed out, Brown, the way this month's going, I mean, that's one of those games I've been looking at. Can't get a feel for it. But, I mean, that just might put it over the top the way the month's been going.
You lose at home to Vandy. I mean,
they'll be booing after the first 3 and out.
Oh, gosh, yes.
A lot of SEC stats this weekend of things that are happening that takes you back before 2000. We'll talk about them as we do our Buffalo Wild Wings Pick 3 coming up. Dennis Dodd just now tweeting, the last 24 hours have given a rise to a new punk band name, LSU Message Board. So it's Baton Rouge burning and not even a Moscano joke there. It is interesting to see where BK is right now down there. And I'm with you, LT. Who are you going to get? And how is it going to be any different? But I think his actions on the sidelines, the way he comes across without the winning, I think that rubs people the wrong way, and you just wonder if that hurts you in recruiting. Did Bryce Underwood, did he see some of that? Did he talk to some of those receivers that got their butts chewed out, and he said, man, I'm going to go ahead and take the money and run.
I don't know. Is this the biggest recruit in LSU history?
Is it the biggest recruiting loss?
Well, yeah, or even if they would have gotten him.
There's a couple of guys that Saban pulled out of Louisiana that I think LSU really wanted back in the day.
Speaking of Saban, though, you mentioned Brian Kelly in this act. If you're not winning football, then it really looks bad. It's almost like Nick Saban at Michigan State. How many guys got on the plane with him?
Bobby Williams was it, right?
It
was Bobby Williams and Adam Gase. Adam Gase was a GA back then. Ultimately the Miami Dolphins and New York Jets head coach. And I think, Bobby Williams stayed as the interim. Who was the other one? It was Adam Gase and one other guy.
I think Bobby got on the plane with him and then went back and became the interim.
When they decided to hire him? Yeah, he ended up being the head coach.
I think he ended up with only Adam Gase in Baton Rouge.
Yeah. There's not a lot of guys. A lot of people are like, I'll stay with Bobby. How'd that work out?
Yeah, see, and that was, it changed a lot. Nick Saban really never changed.
That's right.
But the wins and losses changed.
Yeah, but at LSU, he found a new group of guys, and that group of guys, off and on, were with Saban, through several stops. They went with him to Miami, ended up, a lot of them, with him in Tuscaloosa, too.
Yeah. So one more thing to get to here in this segment after we remind you that Academy Sports will be there Wednesday on Highway 280. So weather should be perfect. So come on out Wednesday to Academy Sports. We'll have a good time out there.
Yeah, it's in the Target Shopping Center right there on 280. It's the old Best Buy, Cahaba Park Circle next to Target. Now, there are several reasons you want to come. First of all, because Academy Sports and Outdoors has a wide selection of trusted brands like Nike, Stanley, Brooks, Carhartt, Blackstone, Yeti, Titleist, Shimano, and much, much more. But also, they're giving away tickets to the big game next weekend over in Tuscaloosa. Couple ways you can do that. You can just go to our website, nextroundlive.com, and register there, nextroundlive.com. There's a link right there with Academy Sports logo on it where you can register for those tickets. Or you can come see us in person Wednesday and register there. We'll announce the winner on Black Friday, and you'll be on your way to the game. Academy Sports and Outdoors. We'll see you there 9 to noon next Wednesday.
It is hard to believe the weekend is already here, but one thing you want to do is be properly hydrated. I say do it before, but you can do it after. Our friends at HydroLife Therapy, they can hook you up with all this IV therapy, B12 injections, compression therapy, right now, weight loss therapy as well, all under one roof. Stop in, see the guys. Walk-ins are welcome. You can book online, hydrolifetherapy.com. If you can't make it out to one of the great locations, they can send a nurse to your home or business. 2 locations in Birmingham, Homewood, Highway 119 in Greystone. Also Tuscaloosa, very important. Mention the next round, 20% off all the great services from our friends at HydroLife Therapy.
All right, we'll get to all the big games in college football in our Buffalo Wild Wings Pick 3 coming up in the next segment. I will point out that there was a great finish last night in college football as well after NC State had come back. The drive at the end for Georgia Tech, and they walk it off there in Atlanta.
And that quarterback, that freshman quarterback is going to be good.
Philo?
Yeah, Philon.
Yeah, played with really, played like a veteran.
Well, when NC State scored at the end, I didn't think there was any way when Bailey went in for that touchdown on the quarterback keeper, I didn't think there was any way Tech was going to be able to drive the field.
Yeah, I agree 100% with you. Brent Key's doing some special things over there. It is a long, long, long build that even goes back before him. What our buddy Jeff Collins is trying to turn around coming out of the triple option without maybe some of the financial backing that you get at other programs in the NIL world. I just don't know how robust their NIL is at Georgia Tech. But Brent Key's doing some nice things over there. I like the direction he's got this program headed in. Now, the build's going to have to continue. I don't think they're going to sit around and just be, happy being bowl eligible every year. He's going to have to continue it, but he's done some really nice things over there.
Yeah, Philo, I thought I was right. Thank you there, CU. But Pritchard saying Texas. Why are people just forgetting Texas could be in Atlanta? I don't think we forget Texas. We talk about how Alabama has a good track to get there because Texas and Texas A&M play each other. I think the most common matchup, right? The most likely possibility if favorites play out is Texas-Alabama, right?
I thought it was Alabama-Georgia.
No. If favorites play out, it's Texas-Alabama. Texas only got the one loss.
Yeah.
So, Texas, not only are they likely are
I've just put alive, in my head that Texas is losing to A&M.
I know. A lot of people are assuming that. But then if A&M beats Auburn tomorrow, then it's Bama A&M if A&M beats Texas. So Georgia actually has probably of those 4 the toughest road ahead. Their thing is they don't play another conference game. So they can't lose their way out of it. They just need some other teams to lose so they can get in it.
All right. So there you go. That's a quick whip around of what we saw last night. great basketball, too. Tennessee and Baylor with a couple of big wins last night. So we all roll forward now. We get to our Buffalo Wild Wings Pick 3, brought to you by our friends at Odie's. Remember, great live music tonight at both locations. Go down to Odie's.
Every Friday, Saturday, there is live music at both locations of Odie's Tavern. You can stop in, get some of that chili today, grilled cheese. You're going to absolutely love the food from Rodney Davis over the last 35 years. Ice-cold beer buckets full of the Bud Light. Odie's Team Trivia every Wednesday at the Crestline location. Stop in, see Will Haver and that great staff. 2 locations, Crestline, Edgewood. It's Odie's Tavern.
Follow Dunaway on Twitter and Instagram at jimdunaway.
At Academy Sports and Outdoors, we believe the best holiday fun happens out there. On the driveway with a new basketball hoop, out back around the fire pit, or up in the deer stand. No matter your fun, we've got it. The right stuff at the right price. Academy. Have fun out there.
Buying that perfect home is one of the most important financial decisions you'll ever make, so it's crucial that you have the right partner to help you through the process. Hi, I'm Lisa Zeig, Vice President Mortgage Loan Officer for Bryant Bank, and I'm here to tell you that we are that partner, making it easy to buy with confidence. We offer a variety of mortgage products to fit your unique home buying situation. That kind of hassle-free approach might not be what you'd expect from a bank, but it's exactly what you can expect from us. Give me a call today or visit one of our 18 offices across the state of Alabama and let me show you what banking beyond expectation is all about.
Hey, you. It's the holidays. Give cheer a lift. And at New Balance Birmingham, we got the gift. That holiday vibe? Find it inside. Come together at New Balance Birmingham on Highway 280, right next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham. We got now.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemphill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemphill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemphill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemphill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
Remember the name Way to Wellness if you're battling weight loss in your life. I'm Jim Dunaway from The Next Round. There was a time I was over 216 pounds until Way to Wellness helped me lose 45 pounds, and now for over 2 years, they've helped me keep that weight off. Here's their website, aplanforme.com, aplanforme.com. That's a great name for a website because there's no cookie-cutter plan. Everything is designed specifically for you. No contract, no sign-up fees, and your first consultation is free at Way to Wellness.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. I mean, where else are the scenic views as good as your view of the game? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
In some places, football is a sport. In Alabama, it's a fine art. New Life Art is proud to announce Daniel A. Moore's upcoming painting, Deuces Wild. This season, Bama is blessed with a pair of very talented deuces. The pair played a huge role on both sides of the ball in the Tide's amazing 41-34 victory over #2 Georgia. Deuces Wild will portray the unbelievable game-winning 75-yard touchdown catch by deuce #1, Ryan Williams, late in the fourth quarter. The Dogs' last chance drive was stopped by deuce #2, Xavier Brown, as he made the game-saving interception in the end zone, which will be celebrated by a small artist's remark in the bottom margin of each print. Go to danielmooreart.com to see the artist's preliminary sketch and take advantage of special pre-publication pricing for Deuces Wild. Also available, The Legend, Daniel Moore's final tribute to Coach Nick Saban. Order now at danielmooreart.com.
At Academy Sports and Outdoors, we believe the best holiday fun happens out there. On the driveway with a new basketball hoop, out back around the fire pit, or up in the deer stand. No matter your fun, we've got it. The right stuff at the right price. Academy. Have fun out there.
Hey, for all of your IT and printing needs, reach out to our friends at Xerox Business Solutions. Look, I'm still one of those old school guys. I print my notes every single day for the show. If you watch the show here on The Next Round, you see all the notes in front of me. from day one, Xerox Business Solutions. They've been with us here at the Next Round. Local for over 45 years. For all of your IT and printing needs, visit XeroxBusinessSolutions.com or call 205-969-3000. That's 205-969-3000.
4-6 Troy is right. Early season basketball, phenomenal. Sweet 16, Elite 8 quality games. That's how I described to Little T the Illinois-Alabama matchup. Felt like Sweet 16 type game. Houston-Auburn, sort of an Elite 8 type game. Now Auburn's going to the Maui Classic. Alabama's heading to Vegas. You get some more Sweet 16 Elite 8 like games. And then last night, Tennessee with the win I said, but Baylor, they came back from 18 down against, wait for it, Rick Pitino and nationally ranked St. John. Jeremy Roach hits a dagger to seal it in double overtime, and Baylor wins over St. John's in a classic. And tonight at 8:30 on the CBS Sports Network, you get Tennessee and Baylor playing each other.
Yeah, I thought it was an interesting number going into that game. Baylor was only a 2.5-point favorite, and I think it kind of shows you that it was going to be a really good game, and, boy, that was quite the shot, too.
Yeah, it was. Fun basketball. I agree with you there, Troy. All right, show being brought to you by our friends at Woodhouse. We'll talk college football and all the big games in a second. Woodhouse Day Spa. Thanksgiving is Thursday, and then you got to get into that shopping season.
Yeah, I talked to our buddy Stuart, who owns the Woodhouse Day Spa yesterday. Had a really good conversation. He wants to remind you Black Friday is coming up, so we're a week away from that. And they've got their series special, 7 for 5 services. Purchase a series of 5 services, and you're actually going to receive 7. 2 free services applies to all services except the hydrofacials. For hydrofacials, they're offering a 4 for 3 series special. Purchase 3 hydrofacials, receive that 4th. Series can be shared, and it never expires. And you can't actually get it till Friday, but what you can do, you can call, you can stop into the Woodhouse Day Spa, you can go online to birmingham.woodhousespas.com, and you can actually reserve your spot for Friday, and they won't run your credit card until Black Friday. It's going to work just like that. They've also got a big deal coming up for Cyber Monday, online bonus gift card special. Receive the bonus gift cards at the following levels. You purchase a $100 gift card, receive $15 bonus. $250 gift card, $40 bonus, and it goes up. Birmingham.woodhousespas.com, or stop into the Summit Shopping Centers. See Stuart and that great staff. Easy holiday ideas from the Woodhouse Day Spa.
No, I did not hit a parlay, Keith. But if you follow us on TikTok, after the show, we do a pick of the night at MyBookie.ag.
Mm-hmm. Guess who's not red hot in that?
Yeah. Well, again, if you fade Dunaway, like the T-shirt says, you're 3-0 in 3 days. So jump in. We'll do another one after the show tonight.
I'll start letting you know.
Yeah.
You might want that piece of information.
Well, I mean, last night I was threading a needle. My play was 1 interception by Jameis Winston, 2 Mika Fitzpatrick. He threw 1 interception. It just wasn't to Mika Fitzpatrick.
There's only 5 guys in the secondary.
Could you get an odd on that?
Yeah, plus 485.
Plus 485.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that wasn't a bad flyer right there.
I probably just would have taken the over half minus 160 or whatever it was for Winston.
Well, that's too easy. Yeah.
those wins are easy.
Who wants to do that, Lance?
Yeah, that's just going to
Jim's after the big score.
That's right. Whale hunting is what Dunaway's doing.
That's just going to double your money, LT. I mean, I want odds. I want some odds. MyBookie.ag. Casino games there, too. You kill a little time playing a little blackjack and all that stuff. Go do that. Matt Schick of ESPN writes this within the last hour and gets a retweet from Adam Rittenberg. A lot of talk this week about 2-loss Ole Miss potentially being left out of the college football playoffs if they pick up a 3rd loss in the SEC championship game. Take a lot to get Ole Miss into that SEC championship game. But listen, if you're in the SEC championship game, Brown, they're not going to count that loss. I don't care who you are.
I've said it all along, but we'll have to wait and see. A lot of people tell me I'm crazy for saying this, but the people I talk to that I trust say that is going to be treated almost like the NCAA selection committee treats the conference basketball tournaments.
Yeah.
Like they have shown you, unless you're out of the tournament and win the conference tournament.
Yep. It can only help you. It can't hurt you.
Yeah, we're ignoring it. Like it's not hurting you. It's not driving you way up the standings. Or way up the seedings. That's just it. So that's what I believe.
For your part, to what you're saying, last year at the SEC basketball tournament, Alabama left on day one, Auburn won the thing, and they both were the same seeds.
Correct.
As when they went into Nashville.
Yeah, and traveled all the way across the country.
And traveled all the way across the country.
On top of that. So,
virtually together.
Yeah,
there.
Auburn got zero pop for winning that tournament other than a trophy and some fun moments for their fans and all those things.
Listen, I'm not a lot of fun on social media, and I don't really say a lot of meaningful things. I retweet a lot of Taylor's stuff from the next round is basically what I do on Twitter. But I did point out.
We thank you for that.
Last week that why is it Tennessee that's on the bubble and not Ole Miss? And that continues to get it sort of hit a vein with both Ole Miss and Tennessee fans, and it continues to churn out retweets and stuff. And I was looking into it a little bit more. Like Ole Miss's record against, what is it, strength of record is not very good. And game control, they maybe trail Tennessee a little bit in game control. There's some numbers that the committee at the end usually look at that actually do have Tennessee ahead of Ole Miss there. It just hasn't showed up in the rankings yet. I just wonder at the end when all the data points are in if somehow Tennessee is a lot closer in their dynamics, their data than it appears right now.
So let's compare the two. Ole Miss's losses are
Kentucky.
All right.
At home.
4-6.
Kentucky.
Let's just compare it this way then. Tennessee lost to Arkansas on the road. Worst loss. Kentucky at home or Arkansas on the road?
Kentucky at home.
Yep.
I would agree. Their other loss, Ole Miss's other loss is
Texas.
No, it was LSU.
LSU, yeah.
LSU
where they
on
led
the road.
every play until the final play.
LSU on the road, and Tennessee's other loss is Georgia on the road.
At Georgia.
Better loss
is Georgia on the road.
Yep. So I'm 2 for 2 now, I think, in Tennessee. All right, so let's talk about good wins.
What you just told me there, that's strength of record.
Yeah.
Which you haven't heard talked about a lot, but strength of record is one of their numbers.
Yeah, let's talk about better wins. Tennessee, their best win is Alabama and Knoxville.
Yep.
And Ole Miss's best win is Georgia and Oxford. Better win.
Georgia and Oxford.
Not according to the committee. It's not.
Alabama.
They've got Alabama ranked higher.
Well, and the only reason I say that is because they pretty much dominated Georgia. They won that game by 18.
They did. No. It was a more impressive win, but I'm just saying if you just strictly look at win.
But Alabama beat Georgia, so.
Well, but Alabama's ranked higher. You don't even have to play that game. I mean, the committee has told you right now they think Alabama is a slightly better team than Georgia. Yeah. And on the field showed that too, by the way.
And all of this is why I tweeted what I tweeted. I'm like, when I look at it, I'm like, now, the eye test, which we don't talk about enough as well, Ole Miss is a better offense and maybe an equal or at least closer to Tennessee's defense than Tennessee's offense is to Ole Miss's offense. So eye test tells me that I think I'd rather play Tennessee than I would Ole Miss right now.
Oh, I absolutely would. And that's why I don't have a problem with what the committee has done here, because I think eye test has got to play into that.
I just hate when we were assuming that Tennessee's out and Ole Miss is in without a big debate about it.
Well, the committee has basically told you that right now.
Yeah, they have. Let's do our, before we get to our Buffalo Wild Wings pick 3, Brownie, tell us about our friends at MyBookie, MyBookie.ag, and then we'll show you the reaction from Scone and T.
Uh-oh. I bet that's going to be interesting. So this is post-flip by Underwood? That's what we're going to see here?
Yes, it is. Yes.
Lance, why is this Indiana-Ohio State line? Why has it moved so much? Down to 10 in some places. MyBookie.ag this morning had it at 10.5. That was all the way up at 13.5.
So what you saw early was not only, and public tickets continue to come in on Indiana, but you saw a lot of heavy money on the front side take that number up to 13.5, and then you had some guys waiting in the wings to pounce on it when it got at its highest. And I think these are some influential bettors that have brought it down that much.
Okay.
Because I haven't seen anything on an injury report outside of people starting to really process Seth McLaughlin being out for this game.
Yeah, and a little bit more insight on that game coming up in our pick 3.
Okay.
But the center that is now moving from guard to center was the center before Seth McLaughlin got to town.
Okay, so this is the guy Seth bumped out of the way, basically, right?
That's right.
What is currently 10.5 right now at MyBookie.ag. Ole Miss has ballooned all the way up to 12, by the way. That's the one that has climbed, while Ohio State has fallen just a little bit. Update on Alabama as they take on Oklahoma, and Auburn as they face Texas A&M, about the same where you've seen them all week. A&M a 2.5-point favorite, coming to Jordan-Hare, the Crimson Tide, a 13.5-point favorite on the road at Norman. You can play all those games and the NFL action this weekend at MyBookie.ag. You can bet anything, anytime, anywhere there. But also don't forget the casino and the live casino there. It's right there at the top of the website. When you go, you can visit the casino and the live casino. It is fun, and what would make it even more fun is if you had a little free money to play with. So MyBookie has stepped in. They are so thankful for the way you, the next round audience, has locked into them. They're like, hey, let's give them a little bonus here. So here's what they're going to do. You use code NEXTROUND in the casino, and they're going to give you a 300% casino bonus. 300% of your initial deposit there when you use code NEXTROUND at MyBookie.ag, code NEXTROUND, and they'll throw in 50 free spins. So they're making it fun in the casino for you. The sportsbook, the casino, all right there at MyBookie.ag, code NEXTROUND. MyBookie.ag, code NEXTROUND.
All right, Scone and Tea down in Baton Rouge, our buddy Matt Moscano and T-Bob Hebert, who do a great post-game show, and they do this, I think, every Thursday night. A little reaction to five-star quarterback commitment to LSU, Bryce Underwood, flipping to Michigan.
I really tried to build in a natural level of callousness and defensive pessimism where I kind of try to expect the worst, and then you can't be hurt. And with this LSU class, certainly with how it's gone recently, with the ever-increasing offer from Michigan, which increased further, I was definitely started to expect the worst. However, after the recent 10.5 news cycle where Underwood posted the LSU story and everything, I finally allowed myself to kind of give myself over to, who knows, maybe he actually will come here. And so this is all a lot to say that even my most calloused and pessimistic of defenses got pierced by this news, and it could not come at a worse time for Brian Kelly, the brand, and the current state of LSU. And unfortunately, it's probably not going to be the last one from this class. At this point, you're starting to feel a lot like this Florida class from last year, where it was the life raft that Billy Napier was clinging on to throughout the entirety of the year, and then it completely imploded on signing day. The key difference being they held on to the five-star quarterback, and thus far you have not. Maybe you can keep it from avoiding complete implosion, but again, I am going to expect the worst here and be pleasantly surprised if it ends up better than that.
I love T-Bob.
Yeah.
That's the way he rolls it.
Yeah. Go follow him on TikTok, and you had a lot of and a lot of
one of the
boy, they have some low lows and some really high highs.
They really do. Boy, that LSU fan base, man, it is and T-Bob has told us that before. It's what makes it so the highs so good, Lance, is that they experience such low lows.
Yeah, they ride the emotional people down there in Baton Rouge.
They are. Can I just quickly say that the underrated thing that Kirby Smart has done at Georgia, Nick Saban has done at Alabama, probably Ryan Day at Ohio State, I would say, though we don't deal with them on a day-to-day, is get their programs to the point where they don't live and die with a single recruit. And that is one of the greatest gifts a football coach can give you because, boy, those recruits change with the wind, man.
Yeah, really hard to do. Pick three. Put it off long enough. Hit the song, if you will, Tyler.
Pick three, it's time for the pick three. 3 for you and 3 for me, that equals a pick three. Say goodbye to your family, it's time for the pick three. Only time that I'm happy is when it's time for pick three.
And it's brought to you by our friends at Buffalo Wild Wings.
11 Central Alabama locations, including that Buffalo Wild Wing Go location in Vestavia. #1 sports bar in Birmingham for over 20 years. Wall-to-wall TVs, all locations, 26 sauces and seasonings, along with a full menu of great burgers, wraps, salads. Stop in all weekend long for your college football action, NFL Sunday ticket. It's all going on at Buffalo Wild Wings.
We'll run through a few games quickly here. We'll get to Todd Fuhrman coming up at the top of the hour. Let's go with the biggest one in the country. It is Indiana and Ohio State. This game being compared nationally like the movie Hoosiers. Like Coach Sig is going to walk out there at the horseshoe and measure 100 yards.
Yeah, I heard Feinbaum ask this morning, are you taking David or Goliath?
I don't think it's quite David and
he
Goliath.
Took Goliath. He said that he thinks that Ohio State is going to walk Indiana off the field. I typically would share this because you guys know I'm a contrarian. But Indiana has been a great story, and when you watch them play, they are legitimate. They don't make mistakes, and that's going to be key in this atmosphere going to the Horseshoe, because by far this will be the most juiced atmosphere they've seen the entire year. But they're so balanced. 7th nationally in scoring defense, 13.8 points per game. 3rd nationally in scoring offense, almost 44 points per game. That offensive line's only given up 10 sacks the entire year. That is less than a sack or right at a sack a game. And on the other side, we've talked about Ohio State and those offensive line problems. I think that is going to be the difference for Indiana to stay in this game. Will Indiana win this game? I doubt it. I hope they do, but I think it will be closer than the experts think.
One of my favorite moments of that movie is when they're in the huddle and Strap's praying, and Gene Hackman says, "Make this a good one, Strap."
but as they pointed out at the Athletic, Brown, in the movie Hoosiers, that small town had a 5-star recruit, basically.
That's right. Jimmy, Coach Stays I Play.
Yeah. Jimmy just happened to live as they write at the Athletic, at a farm in town, in a small little town.
Did he walk into the town meeting with a basketball under his arm?
He did, yeah. Coach Stays I Play. Let's vote again.
Yeah. Fanville. It's like an early Fanville commercial. This is a great matchup of the nation's number 1 scoring defense against the number 2 scoring offense in Indiana, number 1 defense for Ohio State. It'll be a great game, 11 a.m. Can't wait to see how it plays out. In the SEC, not a lot of people are talking about this Ole Miss trip to Florida, but we were just talking about Ole Miss and what they have accomplished and haven't accomplished. Would you be surprised, going into the stats here, number 2 in the country is Ole Miss at 7.6 yards per play. Doing pretty good offensively. Number 2 in the FBS, behind only Miami. When DJ Lagway is your quarterback, Florida is at 7.4 yards per play, just 0.2 yards behind what Ole Miss is doing. Lagway, a quarterback lately, has made Florida a much different team. This game is interesting to me this weekend.
Yeah, my thing is, like, DJ Lagway is such a raw talent, and he has got the potential to be a superstar. And it's going to be DJ at his best if they're going to be able to upset the Rebels. My fear, possibly, though, is this Ole Miss defense. They lead the nation in sacks, 4.6 sacks per game. They get after the quarterback, and if they started to get in the head of DJ Lagway, he makes a couple of these freshman mistakes, that could be a problem.
And go ahead. Those numbers you point out, his big games, like the games he's played the most in conference, Texas A&M, pretty good defense, right? At State, he didn't play a ton at State, actually. At Tennessee, really good defense. Had them with every opportunity to win that game. In fact, if his coach does the right thing, they may actually win that game at Tennessee. And we're not even talking about Tennessee in this.
You're talking about going for 2, right?
Going for 2 at the end. Yeah, he had them in position to do that. Kentucky, pretty good defense normally. Georgia, he got hurt in that game, but was playing well before he got hurt in that game. And then he came back against LSU, which is just a marginal defense at best. My point is, he didn't stack those numbers up you're talking about against the dregs of the schedule. It's actually been in the more difficult part of their schedule that he's done that.
Protecting him will be key, as LT said about the sacks there. It's even gotten better for Ole Miss the last 3 games, 22 sacks in the last 3 games. More of the SEC right after LT tells us about our friends at Rodney Scott Barbecue. Listen, Rodney Scott, great locations everywhere, best ribs in town, but you folks in Trussville, I'm telling you, you got a Rodney Scott there right now, right there with the Hero Donuts. Go by and get you some barbecue there in Trussville. You folks in Trussville love your Trussville stores. Rodney Scott's in town now. It is so good.
Yeah, get you some carry-out, little tailgate action for the football weekend. But more importantly, place your pre-order for Thanksgiving. It's all turnkey. They're going to do it for you. Brown was in that pit this past Wednesday. Rodney Scott's barbecue pit cook spatchcock turkeys available for pre-order. You've got the QR code right there on screen that Scotty's pulled up. You can also go to RodneyScottsBBQ.com. The spatchcock turkeys, pit cooked, smoked over the hot coals for hours, seasoned with that famous rib rub and Rod's original sauce. Support local this holiday season. Rodney Scott's Barbecue, locally owned and operated. Homemade southern sides, desserts. Again, everything is turnkey. RodneyScottsBBQ.com or scan that QR code.
If Auburn doesn't upset Texas A&M at Jordan-Hare Stadium, it'll be their 4th straight losing season for the first time since post-World War II, 1946 to 1950.
You had to work hard to be that bad at Auburn football. I mean, that program is better than that. And, it started late Gus Malzahn, obviously through Harsin, and Freeze just has not been able to turn the ship yet. And that's unfortunate for Auburn's fans. It's such a good fan base, and they support that team. I've had people tell me that ULM atmosphere was fantastic. Like, I thought that would be a dead crowd. I mean, they're still filling the stadium and watching that team, even though it's a bad product.
The fans never lose at all.
They really don't. And you know what? They'll be back out there again Saturday night. That'll be a very difficult atmosphere for Texas A&M.
I was talking to T yesterday. Should be the best atmosphere of the year. It's the only night SEC home game.
I would agree. And they smell, a chance to avoid that scenario. Go to Tuscaloosa and, throw caution to the wind and play for a bowl berth. And it's sad that it has come to that, but that's where Auburn football is right now. And getting to a bowl would be and avoiding that stat right there would be a step in the right direction.
Daniel's right. In preseason, we talk every year about Jordan-Hare being one of the toughest places to play. I think you'll see why that's always a discussion in a game like this on Saturday night.
We had forgotten about the Swamp until this past weekend. Like, I give Florida fans a lot of credit.
Yeah, they deserve it too.
To go out and support that team and Billy Napier like they did this past weekend in that win over LSU. Again, I expect the same with the fans at Jordan-Hare this Saturday night against Texas A&M. If Auburn loses this game, though, I do think it's going to get to a point where we're like, is Jordan-Hare as magical as we think it is?
Yeah.
Well, it can only overcome so much.
I know, but what is really their home record over the last 3 years?
Oh, it's not great. And look, when we talk about that, and people love to point out the New Mexico State game last year and all those things, that's not our discussion here. Our discussion has always been when Auburn is playing well, that stadium, I think, lifts them above their level of play more than any team in America.
Yeah.
Now, does it mean they win every one of those games? It absolutely does not mean they win every one of those games.
I just go with big games, what they do in the big games, and that includes the Iron Bowl. When the Iron Bowl's there, look at the last two.
I've been to Iron Bowls and Georgia games where Georgia and Alabama were significantly better than Auburn, and those two teams struggled with the Jordan-Hare crowd, and it leveled the playing field. That's my only point there. It doesn't mean Auburn wins all the big games. It will happen Saturday night. LSU will have struggles with that Jordan-Hare crowd.
I think I'm right about this. Last two times Alabama's been there, had to pull victory from defeat.
It took multiple overtimes and one of the most incredible plays in Alabama football history, and those were significantly better Alabama teams.
And they went on to win the SEC championship the next week, I think, both times.
That is correct.
Yeah,
they were the SEC champion, and both times went to a bad Auburn team.
Yep.
And had to have multiple overtimes and one of the most incredible plays you've ever seen.
Those are the games I'm talking about there. Fuhrman next. One Alabama note here. And I know LT knows this. Heck, he was probably picking games the last time this happened. Last time Oklahoma was a double-digit underdog at home, it was 1997 against Texas A&M. Here we go, Alabama, double-digit favorite in Norman. This hasn't happened this century in Oklahoma for the Sooners.
Well, I think there's a couple of reasons. Alabama's playing outstanding football right now. Since the Tennessee loss, they've outscored their opponents 128-20. They are now 10th in scoring defense in the FBS, 16.9 points per game, 8th nationally in scoring offense, right at 40 points per game. And Jalen Milroe, the 5th SEC quarterback with 15 rushing touchdowns and 15 passing touchdowns in a season. 3, you guys will be able to drill. The other is a little more difficult.
Okay, Tim Tebow. Tim Tebow. Easy one.
Cam Newton.
Yep.
I'm going to say
Jaden Daniels.
Archie Manning.
God, Jaden Daniels is a really Archie.
He
Manning
didn't have 15 rush touchdowns. Jaden Daniels. I know he had 15 passes.
Yep. Archie Manning didn't.
I'm surprised y'all haven't gotten this one yet.
Okay,
because it's very obvious. And then one is really difficult.
And this is all time.
This is all time.
Is one Nick Marshall?
I don't think he threw for that many.
Nope. Okay.
All right. Who are we obviously missing?
Johnny Manziel.
Johnny Football.
And then the other one you're not going to get. Nick Fitzgerald.
Yeah. I would have.
I'm surprised.
SEC quarterback or not.
I'm shocked Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, I'm going to look how many rushing touchdowns he had, because that's pretty crazy that he's not on this list from last year.
So you're like me. You stumble in some of these stats and you read them from reliable sources, or you come up with them on your own, and then you announce them on the air, and you're like, is that really true?
Yeah, Jaden Daniels only had 10 rushing touchdowns. I mean, that's a lot for a quarterback, but I would have thought more out of him the way he played.
Okay, Fuhrman's coming up. Show being brought to you by a lot of great folks, including our friends at the Inverness Country Club. Tell us about Inverness LT, and we'll work our way to Vegas.
Yes, Inverness Country Club. They have got memberships that absolutely fit everyone, from the social membership to the golf membership. Find your sense of community at Inverness Country Club. Maybe you relocated to retired Inverness, great place to network. Maybe you work from home what about working from the club while they watch your kid? Childcare, massive plus at the Inverness Country Club. Whatever your interests are, you can find them at Inverness Country Club. Take a tour of this unbelievable club. Call Aaron today, 205-991-8608. That's 205-991-8608 or online, iccalabama.com.
And our friends at Urology Centers, Alabama.com, 16 locations, 35 urologists standing by to help you out. A location near you, find that location by going online or calling that number, 205-930-0920. Why is it so important, guys? Well, because they treat all your urological needs, from prostate health to kidney stones and everything in between. That is so important when it comes to your health to stay on top of that as you get older, guys. They do vasectomies as well if you're to that point of your marriage. Visit UrologyCentersAlabama.com. UrologyCentersAlabama.com to schedule an appointment today.
Call the next round now at 205-734-0923.
A legendary coach once said, "It's not the will to win that matters. It is the will to prepare to win." Hi, I'm Bobby Humphrey, Vice President of Business Development for Bryant Bank, and I can tell you that our Bryant bankers have the dedication and experience to put together a financial game plan that is right for you. At Bryant Bank, we specialize in community banking and offer personal and business loans, checking and savings accounts, mobile banking, and treasury management services. Stop by one of our 18 offices across the state of Alabama to find out what unbeatable service and legendary results are all about.
Are you tired of buying your CPAP mask and supplies online only to be disappointed? It's time to visit CPAP Plus, your locally owned and operated CPAP shop that prides itself on personal service. Come see what you're buying at CPAP Plus with 3 convenient locations in Pelham, Highway 280, and now open in Trussville. Drop by for a free CPAP checkup and free filters, no appointment needed. Plus, sign up for their giveaway for a chance to win a free travel CPAP machine. Just Google CPAP Plus or visit any of those 3 locations. Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit UrologyCentersAlabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today.
Let's face it, a home is one of the most powerful assets you can have, and our friends at Mortgage Right want to help you build wealth through home ownership. Mortgage Right is all about providing competitive rates, a variety of loan products, and a multitude of resources for a seamless home buying experience. They treat their borrowers like family and are always looking to bring more happy homeowners under their roof. See more by visiting mortgageright.com/TNR today and start living. That's mortgageright.com/TNR. NMLS 2239, equal housing lender.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. On game day, you never have to decide which teams to watch, only what combination of bites, burgers, wings, and more to order. Plus, where else are your favorite draft beers always poured at a frozen 29 degrees? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Stick around after the sun sets. Twin Peaks is open really late. Wind down with bourbon and late night bites. Only at Twin Peaks.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
At Academy Sports and Outdoors, we believe the best holiday fun happens out there, on the driveway with a new basketball hoop, out back around the fire pit, or up in the deer stand. No matter your fun, we've got it. The right stuff at the right price. Academy, have fun out there.
Follow Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. The social media team at Next Round Live is dedicated to giving you daily news conferences and practice video from UAB, Alabama, Auburn, and around college football. Follow and compare to the sites you used to visit. You'll also get the latest highlights and news from the Next Round Daily Show. Turn on the notifications so you don't miss a thing. Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. See more at nextroundlive.com.
We talk about all the biggest games every Monday at 10:30 with Fox Sports analyst Joel Klatt. Presented by MyBookie.ag, promo code NEXTROUND. If it is meaningful at all in college football, we cover it Mondays with Joel Klatt, presented by MyBookie.ag on the Next Round.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
By the way, when I was in Las Vegas, that Las Vegas Grand Prix, they'd already set up the track and had built the stands, and they have to have some fake temporary bridges built to go over roadways to keep that city moving while the Grand Prix in there. It's a massive setup. And that's been, what, a month ago?
Well, I was out there, I guess the first time they did it, May of 23.
Yeah, so last year, yeah.
But, I mean, that city already is logistically a nightmare.
You know who doesn't like it? The locals.
Oh, gosh.
I bet.
That's what they get for a living there.
Let's talk to one of them. You want to talk to one of them?
Yeah.
Todd Fuhrman, BetTheBoardPodcast.com with us on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. Fuhrman, do you just stay at home when the F1 is in town?
I did last year. I am actually going to venture into the belly of the beast later today. I will be down there for the final practice session and qualifying. That'll kick off around 11 o'clock tonight local time. Logistically, you guys are exactly right. If you're trying to navigate from the east side of the strip to the west side of the strip, it is a little bit perilous, to say the least. Thankfully for us to try and get from where we live in town, there are a couple of shortcuts and ways you can kind of sneak into the casino. So I'm hoping, fingers crossed, it's a little bit smoother than the 2.5 hours of rumblings of traffic that I was hearing yesterday.
Let's talk about some of the games. And I want to start with the biggest one, Ohio State and Indiana. This game has dropped overnight. I think, depending on where you look at it, at MyBookie.ag, it's dropped by 3 full points from 13.5 to 10.5, which seems like a relatively significant drop this late in the week for a game of that magnitude.
Yeah, a little bit surprising to see this number come crashing down. We, of course, know about the big injury to Ohio State's transfer center and Seth McLaughlin, who came over from Alabama to try and solidify that group. The offensive line was one of the major question marks for the Buckeyes coming into the season, and it's a group that hasn't probably been tested to the level that we anticipated coming in. Now, important to note, this number did get as low as 10. We started to see a little bit of Ohio State money surface again this morning, so we'll call kind of 10.5 to consensus and even some 11s there. I think the big question that has to be answered in this game, can Ohio State win and do so by margin, of course? Indiana, 2 weeks to prepare for this game. We know that the committee has made a lot of their resume, and rightfully so, that if Indiana were to go into Columbus and get blown out here, an 11-1 record, even in one of the top 2 conferences in the country, might not be enough to get them across the finish line. I've been a little bit surprised by some of the over money that's come in as well. Total got as low as 51. We're now kind of out to that 53 range. That would be the angle that intrigued me the most to try and go under. I think if Ohio State's going to win this game and do so by margin, you're going to see them be able to assert their physical dominance on both the offensive and defensive lines. And I think this Indiana offense, we saw glimpses of their struggles in the second half against Michigan when they stepped up in class. Still some major reservations there, but no doubt one of the marquee games of the day that'll go a long way in defining the college football playoff picture.
You know, this is one of those that usually is, like, I feel like it's on a platter when you can get a quality favorite and you've got the public all over the dog. I can't pull the trigger on it. I won't take Indiana either, but I think Indiana plays within the number.
And I think this game a little higher variance than what we saw last week, where when we broke down the Tennessee-Georgia game, people couldn't get enough of the Vols as an underdog of more than a touchdown going into Athens, and it was Georgia getting you to the window with the 31-17 win after covering. Not quite apples to apples, but for me, I kind of echo those same sentiments. I can see a path for Indiana to be competitive from start to finish, but just ingrained in my DNA that I can't get myself to back a dog in this particular price range with all the buzz around them. Although, look, that's not the blue-haired old ladies leaving the bingo parlor driving this number from 13 down to 10. So there is a little bit of respected money that has come in on the Hoosiers for the marquee game of the early slate.
I'll give my first question to Luke, who's a big Bama fan. He's coming to Vegas for the basketball that'll be there, and he says his first bet he ever is going to make will be in the Harbowl, the Ravens and Chargers. Can you help him out with a play? Who do you like in that? Yeah,
this game we've seen a good amount of over money come in. Total reopened 47.5. on Monday morning after the Chargers defense couldn't really handle the dynamic passing attack of the Bengals, and that's the one group that I think everybody across the league still has questions about, because you go through the Chargers schedule and opposing offenses they face, not exactly a murderer's row. The side, though, is interesting because while the Ravens come into this game off a disappointing performance against the Steelers, we've seen it kind of ping-pong back and forth between 3 and 2.5. Unfortunately, I don't have a play in this game myself, but I would tell Luke, if you like the Ravens, shop around, lay 2.5. Don't do yourself a disservice and lay 3. And if you like the underdog, be sure to grab the 3, because I don't think it would surprise anybody if we were talking about this game being a field goal contest one way or the other.
Todd Fuhrman is with BetTheBoardPodcast.com, at Todd Fuhrman on social media. BetTheBoardPodcast.com is where you find his thoughts on a lot of games. He has been scorching hot on his under-the-radar play. We will definitely get one of those before this visit is over, so do not worry. You guys ask us every week. We're going to do it, I promise you. Auburn feels like they've become a sexy pick to win outright over Texas A&M Saturday night. The number's still at Texas A&M 2.5. Do you like what seems like so many people like Auburn in this game, Fuhrman?
I do, but I haven't gotten there yet with a bet. 3 would be my buy point on the Tigers, and I don't think the market is ever actually going to get to that point for the kickoff at Jordan-Hare Saturday night. When you go through Texas A&M's schedule, there are a couple of problematic results of late when you look at how the defense has performed when they've stepped up in class, and even against some of the lesser teams in the SEC, there have been some concerns. Now, Auburn fans know all too well that this offense hasn't exactly been dynamic and won't be able to throw the football the same way as some of the other teams that have given the Aggies problems. But for me, I just don't love the quarterback situation right now for Texas A&M. We've seen some kinks in the armor for Marcel Reed and some of the quarterback run game more so than anything else. Not a useful data point last week by any stretch for A&M. Beating New Mexico State 38-3, but I can see why Auburn is attracting some attention. For me, if I was getting involved now with some of the numbers that are widely available, I would be much more intrigued to look to go under in the first half. I think these defenses can have some success with quarterbacks and offenses that don't really have a ton of big play potential. So do shop around. There should be some 23s out there, and that would probably be the angle that I would look to take.
I'll lay it or don't play it for me is in Norman on Saturday night with Alabama. I know the public money is all over Bama minus the 2 touchdowns. I just don't think this Oklahoma team is very good, and I think Alabama's peaking at the right time.
And Oklahoma fans would echo those same sentiments. It feels like this was a game that they had circled early in the year. They thought it was going to be an electric atmosphere to get one of the perennial blue bloods and college football powerhouses into Norman and kind of show them what life was like in a venue that they weren't all that familiar with. Well, the season has more or less gotten off the rails for Oklahoma, so much so that they're going to need to pull off an upset, not only this week or next week, to be able to get back to the postseason where they haven't missed a bowl game since the late 90s. This is actually the largest underdog spread that OU has faced in their own building since the late 90s, and you can understand why. For an Oklahoma offense that really lacks punch, they've had some major concerns along the offensive line. I understand why the 14s have kind of turned into 13.5, but I'm right there with you, LT. I would want no part of the Sooners as a home underdog here. Tried to dig into this game and find a compelling case to make for them, but I worry about their ability to contain this Alabama passing attack as a secondary for OU. When they step up in class, hasn't exactly exceeded expectations.
Army and Notre Dame play at Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. We saw a snow game last night in the NFL. I just checked the forecast. No precipitation in the 40s, though, for this game. I think there are a lot of people, especially here in the South, that'll be cheering for Army to pull the upset here.
I think they would love that path to kind of remove Notre Dame from playoff consideration. And for the first time in a long time, these two teams will meet with both of them being ranked for the first time since 1958. I mean, Army has lost 15 straight meetings against Notre Dame. They don't play annually like we've seen with Notre Dame and Navy. The big question for Army, can they do enough to shorten the game and limit possessions from a cover standpoint? I won't talk about the outright win. We saw Army when they were at their best against North Texas, arguably the most dynamic offense they faced before they'll see Notre Dame this weekend. North Texas had 6 possessions in that game, and if that's a similar pace and tempo that we see here, it makes it increasingly difficult for Notre Dame to run away and hide and win by 2 touchdowns plus. On the other side of the ball for Notre Dame defensively, I mean, they should have a level of preparation for this particular matchup, having seen Navy early in the year. And while Army and Navy don't run similar offenses, it's a nice luxury to have Tyler Buckner as your scout team quarterback, running the option representing Bryson Daly all week long. This a battle, though, as well. Number got as high as 17. You saw dog money there. Number gets down to 14 where we're sitting. I think you'll see a little bit of support for the favorite. What surprised me some is that the total has ticked up from 44 to 46. Lean Notre Dame here, but we'll no doubt be fascinated to watch this game unfold given the contrast in styles.
Todd Fuhrman, BetTheBoardPodcast.com. Let's go to the Swamp. Ole Miss is at Florida. If this were a night game, I'd feel a little better about Florida. But they played pretty well against LSU last year. What do you make of Ole Miss on the road? They're laying about 12 or so at MyBookie.ag in Gainesville.
Yeah, numbers continued to leak out. You had an opportunity to lay 10 with Ole Miss, and I fully understand why this number has been on the move. I actually still think there's a little bit of value on the Rebels at this price until we get to 13. Florida, tremendous win last week against LSU, 27-16 on the scoreboard. But you dig into that box score, and Florida was out on the field defensively for more than 90 plays. LSU more or less played keep away. They just weren't able to protect, Garrett Nussmeier as Florida pinned their ears back and came after the talented LSU quarterback. This Gators team before the year, I know when we were breaking down some of the previews, said that if they got to 6 wins, Billy Napier wasn't going to get nearly enough credit. But here we are, and Florida has given themselves an opportunity that even if they lose this weekend against Ole Miss, can go on the road to Tallahassee, knock off Florida State, and get bowl eligible. Ole Miss, perfect time for a bye, so you don't worry as much about a flat spot or a letdown after that big Georgia win. And the one thing we've seen out of Oxford, this team getting healthier. I fully expect Trey Harris to be out there in full capacity. Caden Lee talked about some of the aches and pains, nicks and bruises of going through the SEC gauntlet, helping him out. And we've seen other playmakers emerge. Look for Ole Miss's defensive line to be able to really dominate here. Not a neighborhood I drive through often, guys, laying double digits on the road in conference, but I think it's favored or pass. I would expect Ole Miss to win this game by 2 touchdowns.
Okay, I got a few games I want to ask. So if this is your below-the-radar game, just let me know, and we'll save it for the end. Is it in Lawrence, Kansas?
It is not in Lawrence, Kansas.
Okay.
So this is a Jayhawks team, LT, that I wasn't overly impressed with last week. I had a piece of Kansas against BYU, was thrilled with the result, but watched that game in its entirety and felt pretty fortunate that pooch punt fell the right way of the Jayhawks. But Kansas should be able to run the ball against Colorado here. Jayhawks need to win each of their remaining 2 games to get bowl eligible, but it'll be on the KU secondary. Can they slow down LeJonte Wester and Travis Hunter on the outside? Lance Leipold has had phenomenal game plans early, and I think if you like the Jayhawks here, you may want to get in and out of this game. I think you'll get Kansas's best in the first 30 minutes, so I would be much more inclined to back them in the first half in the full game.
Penn State, a team that I just don't believe belongs in the college football playoff. They have had a benefit of a schedule. They haven't beaten anybody. They've lost their one, quality game. Now, this is a game that I pointed out about a month ago could be dangerous for Penn State. This number has drifted back and forth between 10.5 and 12.5. I don't know if this is your below-the-radar game. Is it?
Nope, we will not be at a power conference for the below-the-radar games. But I'm happy to offer my thoughts on this one as well. I would agree with you. I think Penn State, yes, they check a lot of boxes when you go through the counting stats and even some of their underlying metrics, but they don't look and feel like a college football playoff team to me. So much like you, I'll find myself rooting for Minnesota. No bet in hand on the Gophers in this game just yet, but Minnesota, 2 weeks to prepare. PJ Fleck has been tremendous in these kind of spots with extra time to come up with a few unique wrinkles. The one concern I do have with Minnesota is they haven't run the ball the way that I would like to back an underdog in this particular price range. We saw them before the bye against Rutgers throw the ball 40-plus times for the first time since PJ Fleck took over. It was actually the most pass-happy they've been. I think it was 46 total attempts. If they're going to rely on the passing game with Max Brosmer, not going to set up well. But Penn State has struggled in limited trips to the Twin Cities, and maybe it happens again here. So it's no doubt dog or pass, and we can all hope that Minnesota pulls off the outright upset.
Last time Texas A&M was at Auburn under the lights at Jordan-Hare Stadium, it probably was the biggest win for interim head coach Cadillac Williams. Carnell Williams was the coach then. Here's the Aggies again, playoff and SEC championship contenders. Does it end for the Aggies down on the plains again?
First half under makes some sense in this particular game. I think both of these offenses lack some of that big play potential, and the opportunity to hit the explosives may not be there. The biggest concern for Auburn, offensive line, can they slow down Texas A&M's defensive front? If they can, it'll create some passing lanes for Peyton Thorne. 3 would be a buy point on the home underdog. Other than that, I will probably be on the sidelines. As you guys mentioned, starting to get a little bit trendy, calling for the outright upset with Auburn.
America's team is back in prime time as the Rams host the Eagles Sunday night. This number has dipped down. Everybody says, is the biggest threat to Detroit the Philadelphia Eagles? Now the 8-2 Eagles take on the 5-5 Rams, who have won 4 of 5. The Rams catching 2.5. The Rams are the right way.
The Rams may be the biggest threat to the Rams, given the level of inconsistency that we have seen from this team. And this has been a battle as well around that key number. You mentioned 2.5. There are 3s. If you find yourself wanting to back the underdog, always want folks to get the best of it. And that would be the way that I would look with this Rams team, even against Philadelphia, who comes in off the mini bye. The one concern for both of these teams, can either of them break tendency, as both have been brutally slow starters. Over the first 11 weeks of the season, the Eagles averaged just 1.4 points per game in the first quarter, and the only teams that they've been better than are the Rams and the Bears. I don't think the Rams want to find themselves in a spot where they're playing from behind. Matthew Stafford on Sunday Night Football hasn't exactly been great, but I do have some concerns about Philadelphia's ability to protect. The Rams just need to get home with their high pressure rate, because that secondary, as you know all too well, leaves a little bit to be desired. So if I was backing the Rams here, I would definitely shop around for the 3, and still haven't gotten there yet, but may very well do so before kickoff if I get 24 in the first half total.
I've lost track, but I think we're up to 8-1 on the under the radar game, if I am not mistaken. I believe it was 7-1 last week. Fuhrman gave you another easy winner with South Alabama. So let's do it, Fuhrman. Todd Fuhrman, your under-the-radar game, which has been scorching hot, is what?
There were 2 games I actually toyed with. I debated staying in the great state of Alabama to back Troy plus the 10 and fade Louisiana for the second straight week. But instead, we're going to do a little bit more dumpster diving and back Louisiana Monroe plus the 3 against Arkansas State. This is a ULM program that hasn't experienced a ton of postseason success. And on paper, this appears to be their best shot to get bowl eligible with their regular season finale against the aforementioned Raging Cajuns next week. But you dig into ULM, and you can understand why they've started to struggle over the last handful of games. It's been a step up in class in terms of who they've taken on from the Sun Belt, and of course the game against an SEC opponent didn't go all that well for them last week. But South Alabama, Marshall, and Texas State, 3 of the better teams in the conference. Arkansas State wouldn't fall into that particular bucket. And while the Red Wolves continue to rattle off wins, they got themselves bowl eligible last week. They were blown out at the hands of Louisiana 55-19 the week before, narrowly escaped Troy 34-31, and the only win that they've had by margin in the league against a Southern Miss team that looks like they folded the tents a couple of weeks ago. So I expect Bryant Vincent to get the best out of Monroe. Will it be enough to win the game outright? Not sure, but I'm more than happy to try and take the 3 against an Arkansas State team that I think will be feeling big, fat, and happy after getting eligible for the postseason. Massive game for the Warhawks, and especially on the recruiting trail to get that elusive 6th win.
ULM plus the 3. That is the under-the-radar play from Todd Fuhrman. You can get all his games, bettheboardpodcast.com, bettheboardpodcast.com. Also follow him on social media at Todd Fuhrman. Have a great weekend, Fuhrman. We always appreciate the time.
Always a pleasure, gentlemen. Enjoy the great games this weekend. Should be a lot of fun as always.
All right, buddy. You too. Fuhrman with us from Vegas on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline.
And our show's being brought to you by some great folks like CPAP Plus, the folks that make sure that night's sleep stays smooth and easy.
Yeah, the O'Neill brothers, CPAP users themselves, so they know exactly what you're looking for when you drop by one of those 3 convenient locations of CPAP Plus. You can always Google CPAP Plus or stop in Pelham Highway 280 in Trussville. For the next round viewer and listener, $20 credit towards the purchase of a new mask system, a CPAP cleaner, even a travel CPAP machine. Stop by today, CPAP Plus, where you're going to find the best service and equipment, all in stock, ready for you, with hundreds of 5-star Google reviews. Trust CPAP Plus for all of your CPAP needs. CPAP Plus, where every night matters.
You heard me mention the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. You can see America in an RV from Johnston RV Center. Get a good lifetime warranty on it, too. All this information I'm about to tell you is going to be at JohnstonRVCenter.com. Great discounts right now to go see America in the fall. Travel trailers as low as $145 a month. Fifth wheels, savings $45,000 and more. Lowest prices you're going to find right now on those items. I mentioned that warranty. RV Warranty Forever gives you a lifetime warranty on anything that is new and qualifying pre-owned. See more. JohnstonRVCenter.com.
And our friends at the Pants Store, those great locations everywhere. But even if you can't make it to one of the 6 locations, you can go online at pantstore.com, and bring home the great gifts this holiday season for the teenager or 20-something in your life, or just the Alabama-Auburn fan in your life, because it's your game day headquarters. Bama-Auburn polos, hats, quarter-zip sweatshirts, and a great fashion sense for the ladies as well. In fact, Little T and EG, they're dressed by the Pants Store every football Saturday, thanks to those great locations at Leeds, Birmingham, Huntsville, Tuscaloosa, Auburn, and online at pantstore.com. Nothing says Roll Tide and War Eagle like the Pants Store, pantstore.com. Lane Kiffin, target on his back. I mean, he's already accomplished a lot. First time since 1957 through 62 that they've gone this many years in a row with 8+ wins. He's done it again, and now he's talking about Nick Saban calling them right now hottest team in the Southeastern Conference. Here's Lane.
Did you see what Nick Saban said on game day about Ole Miss?
Refresh me.
He said you guys are probably the best team in the SEC, or have you done a good job of staying away from that kind of noise?
He's now become the rat poisoner then. So he's doing exactly what he complained about. That changes every week based on how you play. Like, we've been playing great, but we got to do that again. He's the same that, just told me after the Georgia game, to remind our guys, the success of the past doesn't mean you're going to have success in the future. It doesn't dictate that. You got to do it again. So we got to go play, and I'm telling you, this is a big challenge, man. What were they, 4-5 or something last week in Florida, and the crowd was electric. It looked like the conference championship was on the line.
Yeah.
Well, it's a tough game, obviously. Fuhrman just told you he really likes Ole Miss, and this thing, I mean, this has historically been a difficult coach and team to trust when everything is on the line. And everything is on the line for them right now. There's no rebounding from that loss. There is nothing that brings them back from the abyss if they lose it.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, you bring up the point, and look, and I agree. I mean, Ole Miss is in the best spot in my lifetime they've been in football, but their fans aren't going to care if they lose this game.
That's right.
Yep. But here's the deal. The Egg Bowl is nothing this year. Mississippi State, they're coming to a gunfight.
Yeah, but it would be hard to believe.
It's not even on its proper day. I mean, everything's wrong about it.
So this is it for Lane and them. They punched their ticket to the college football playoffs with a win at 11 a.m. They should be as focused could be.
Yep.
And you just feel like the Gators laid it all on the line last week.
I don't know if they did. I kind of feel different about Florida. I almost feel like Florida is playing freer now than they have played all year. It's the way they
I
look
agree
to me.
with you, yeah.
I mean, I just think they realize they've saved their coach's job. What else? What do you have to lose right now, right? I don't know. I feel like DJ Lagway in Florida is playing kind of free. I could see where Ole Miss comes to this game, as you like to say, the sphincter factor is super tight, about as tight as it can get. And Florida is just free in the wind, man. And that would make this a very interesting game.
11 a.m. ABC, opposite of Indiana-Ohio State. Indiana-Ohio State is the big noon kickoff on Fox. Ryan Day dealing with another major hurdle on his offensive line. He talked about that with the folks at Bucknuts this week.
Who? Bucknuts?
Bucknuts is their website.
Bucknuts is the website? Okay.
Tore his Achilles on a non-contact injury, and we're crushed for Seth, and our team. But once that wears off, you got to move on, and it's an next man up mentality, and certainly nobody cares. And so we'll make adjustments, and it's like a body blow when something like that happens. Seth means a lot to this team and what he's done since he's been here. We'll talk about that in another moment, but it's tough. But that's why you recruit depth, and that's why you work to get those guys in the game. That's why you work in the off season to build depth. And we knew things like this can happen. And this is not the NFL. You can't just sign guys off of waivers. You have to have guys ready to go, because again, at the end of the day, nobody cares. We got to move on, and we got to win games.
Yeah. So we'll see how that impacts that big contest there in Columbus. The offensive line seems to be the best path for an upset for Indiana, is taking advantage of the injured offensive line of the Buckeyes.
Yeah, I would agree. And Indiana can get after the quarterback, 10th nationally in sacks, over 3 sacks per game. So, you put Will Howard in a situation, he's got 16 consecutive games with a passing touchdown. He makes a couple of mistakes. Indiana can take advantage. The one thing you want to do if you're Ohio State is run them out early. Don't want to let them hang around.
We'll do our Milo's Hot Take when we come back in the next segment. Also, our Mondays headlines. We'll also do our 4 downs, all coming up in the next segment. But right here, our let's make this our new life art.
What's it gonna be?
Flashback.
Flashback.
Because you do that with Daniel A. Moore all the time, right?
What would flashback do?
This has nothing to do with Alabama, though. But I bet you guys remember this day.
Flashback.
10 years ago today, so that would have been what, Brownie? Flashback 2014.
Flashback, we're in 2014. November 22nd, 2014.
Barack Obama was in the White House. And
gas prices were $1.28 a gallon.
Ariana Grande was on top of the charts.
Was this the wild-ass Iron Bowl?
No, it was Samaje Perine.
Oh, yeah. Against Kansas, I think?
427 yards against Kansas, breaking a long-time FBS record for most rushing yards in a game. You know how long that record stood? The record he broke?
The record he broke. God, I don't know. I'm surprised anybody had done it.
Yeah.
Anywhere close.
It lasted 6 days, Brown. The week before, Melvin Gordon for Wisconsin had broke the record with 408 yards rushing in the single game.
That's hard to believe. The back-to-back weeks.
6 days later, Perine goes for 427. We were doing a show together.
Yeah, look, and you don't see that anymore. Even Ashton Genty, he's the first player with 10 or more consecutive games with at least 125 rushing in a season since 1996, and he hadn't even come close to that.
I mean, his big is, 250 or something like that?
Yeah, who do you think it was in 1996, the last guy? He went 11 straight 125 rushing yards. $100 bill to either one of you.
Troy Davis, Iowa State.
That's right.
Thank you.
Okay.
No,
don't make you
Was
pay.
that really right?
Yeah, I got you $100 in there.
No,
That's
I'm not taking your
No,
money.
you can't pay kids.
I'm not taking your money.
How in the hell would you know Troy Davis, Iowa State?
I just remember Troy Davis being that back that was fantastic every week. It seemed like he played off the radar.
That is impossible.
And no, I swear to you, I have not seen that.
You did not read it.
Not at all.
Does that seem impossible to you guys? Troy Davis was out of my mind. I had completely forgotten about the guy until I came across it.
No, I swear I didn't see it anywhere.
I was going to guess like Ron Dane or somebody like that. I don't even know if that's the right era.
Well, when Lance asks you a question like that, it's generally not going to be an obvious answer. He was off the radar, and I just knew that was the time in which he played.
Yeah, that's our flashback right there. Brought to you by our friends at DanielMooreArt.com. DanielMooreArt.com, the legend, a tribute to Coach Nick Saban and his 6 national championship seasons. You can order that right now. What a gift for the holidays, man. Or if you want to go just a little smaller, something under the tree, in the stocking maybe, the 2025 calendar, it's available. Coupon code TNR gets you 20% off. TNR gets you 20% off. All the great stuff there at DanielMooreArt.com, DanielMooreArt.com. And also by our friends right there at Hemp Hill. Lance, they bring you your lock every day on the show, lanceslock.com, where you can play all the games this weekend.
Yeah, we've got a side in college football tonight, and we've got a slew of college basketball action. Jump on board, win with us. Sides, totals, player props, everything, every league, every play. $100 each and every month. Jump on board at lanceslock.com. Always brought to you by our friends at Hemp Hill Services. It's going to be a cold weekend. Make sure that heating is ready to keep up in your home or business. They're ready to serve you. If you have any of these issues, call Adam, Chad, Andrew, the guys there, 205-229-2090. Hard to stop a trainer, hemphillservices.com.
Follow The Next Round on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Next Round Live.
Bryant Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Hey, you. It's the holidays. Give cheer a lift. And at New Balance Birmingham, we got the gift. That holiday vibe? Find it inside. Come together at New Balance Birmingham on Highway 280, right next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham, we got now.
Hey, this is Matt Roth, the franchisee of Walk On Sports Bistro in Birmingham. With the kickoff of football season, come visit us at one of our 3 locations, Stadium Trace, Greystone, or Trussville. Come enjoy our Scratch Kitchen menu while watching one of our 80 TVs. Whether you're looking for a pre- or post-game celebration, game day, or date night, we've got you covered. It's all about the win at Walk-On Sports Bistro. Walk-On, where everybody needs a little playing time.
You could win a Cadillac CT5 or your share of $25,000 in free play and cash at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. The more you visit, the more chances you have to win. Play the latest, most exciting games around with fun bonuses and big jackpots. You can be a winner too. Come win your share during the Cadillac CT5 and $25,000 giveaway at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Drawings April 5th and 6th. Located off I-459, exit 31, Derby Parkway. Must be 21 or older, must be present to win.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
By now, you guys know how I feel about my fashion. However, did you know that I care about your fashion choices? Cargo shorts are out, flip-flops are only appropriate on the boat, and please throw away that stained t-shirt from college. You may be thinking, EG, that's all I own. What do I do? Here's what you do. Go to nextround.store and fill your cart with a wardrobe that is approved by me. Stock up on logo t-shirts, hoodies for football season, and hats for every day of the week. Trust me on this one and head over to nextround.store to get stocked up for this season.
Thanksgiving is here, and let the New York Butcher Shop be the place to get all of your holiday meal items. Their premium turkeys are fresh, free-range, and hormone-free. The New York Butcher Shop also has a wide selection of chef-prepared side items to help save you time in the kitchen. Pick up a bottle of wine, and your meal will be complete. Turkeys are selling fast, so place your order today. 2 locations to serve you, in Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well-done service.
At Academy Sports and Outdoors, we believe the best holiday fun happens out there. On the driveway with a new basketball hoop, out back around the fire pit, or up in the deer stand. No matter your fun, we've got it. The right stuff at the right price. Academy. Have fun out there.
I work hard to try to have any friends at all, LT.
Oh, come on, Jim.
I texted LT last night when he was in the movie, when he came out.
Can we show that video?
We can't. We don't have the rights to it because it's NFL Films. But the text literally said, "I know you're amazed that I have any friends at all, but how does this guy have any friends?" And it is
it's your man.
Yeah, it is Mike McDaniel.
What's wrong with him?
Well, he's on the sidelines, and of course, NFL Films has the audio where you get him saying, "I'm going to pretend I'm changing the play here. I'm going to pretend I'm changing the play here." He's walking around telling everybody, and he looks at two. I'm not changing the play here. And they get a guy to jump off in the Raiders game, jumps off sides.
Yep.
And he starts.
That was a big offsides, by the way.
Yeah, and he starts yelling at the player.
Yeah.
Max Crosby.
Yeah, it was Max Crosby.
Max, I didn't change the play, Max. I didn't change the play, Max.
And Max is like, okay.
Yeah,
man, you can't look like that unless you're a really good coach.
Max took that L too. By the way, took that L all the way back to Vegas.
I think they take that L every week.
They put the L in Las Vegas.
Okay, hot take time here. Our hot take is brought to you by our friends at Milo's every day. Milo's keeping it hot as the temperature is only going up to surprisingly today to 52. But we're going to keep you warm with a few hot takes here before we get to our headline.
And they have got hot off the press. Milo's introduced 2 new spicy sandwiches: the Mexi Burger, the spicy chicken sandwich, 100% pure ground beef, grilled onions, jalapenos, creamy white queso make up the Mexi Burger. The crispy chicken sandwich is made with Milo's chicken tenders that are marinated overnight, hand-breaded in the signature's Milo's seasoning, topped with pickles and their Boom Boom sauce. Order through the mobile app. Enter that promo code NEXTROUND, all caps, no spacing. You're going to get either one free with any purchase. You see the QR code. You can scan it right there. Again, NEXTROUND, all caps, no spacing, and get one of these great new sandwiches absolutely free.
I don't even know if this is a hot take, but I'm going to use it in the hot take segment. For the first time in his playing career, Jameis Winston has become a likable figure.
I enjoyed him last night. His pregame was a little all over the place.
Oh, I know. He's got a weird. He says some weird things.
Yeah,
but hard to get past his past.
It is hard to get past his past, but this is the most pullable he has been for in his career. A backup at Cleveland who comes in and makes them a tough out.
Is it just the uniforms, or has he lost about 20 pounds?
I don't know. I'd have
he
to see
looks
it side
a
by
lot
side.
thinner in that Cleveland white.
You think so?
He looks to be in better shape. You're right.
I mean, he's playing some of the better professional football he's played. Still, you can count on him, critical turnover, as he did last night. But that's my hot take.
My hot take is that for the first time this year in an SEC game, Auburn scores 21 or more points against Texas A&M.
Ooh, hot take. First time. So that's the first time in the SEC they will have scored 21 points?
They have not scored more than 21 points in an SEC game this year.
Florida State hasn't done it all year.
Yeah.
Nope.
And their path to victory, by the way, and this is a unique stat, Texas A&M, when they have rushed the ball for under 200 yards, they're 2-2 this year.
Yeah.
So if you control Marcel Reed in that run game, because who are they? They don't have Moss, right?
They don't have Le'Veon
big
Moss.
star running backs out. If you control Marcel tomorrow night, that's your path to victory for Auburn.
Yeah, I don't know what you're going to get offensively from Texas A&M. That is the reason I like Auburn. I mean, if Peyton Thorne can continue to play clean football, protect the football, get Hunter involved in the offense, I think Auburn's defense is good enough to hold A&M to under 20 points, and I think they can grind it out and win this game.
So I was just talking to Scott in the break there and asked him how he felt about Auburn, and he goes, good, and I hadn't said that a lot this year. And we were just talking about the fact that you will remember one of two Texas A&M teams. You either remember Texas A&M that Saturday night at home against LSU, or you remember them against South Carolina. I remember them against South Carolina.
I do too.
And I look back at that LSU game, and I'm like, how impressive even was that win? Now, Alabama beat LSU worse in Baton Rouge.
Let's slow down. We may need that LSU game to be a big win.
No, I would say this. So Wegman was that bad week one against Notre Dame. I think if Marcel Reed would have played,
they probably beat Notre Dame.
Yeah, pretty good football. I think they probably beat Notre Dame. So I still give Elko a lot of credit that they're in this situation.
Yeah, but keep in mind, pre-Marcel Reed, LSU was running A&M out of Kyle Field. I mean, at halftime, it looked like that was about to be a one-sided affair. They make the change. But then, boy, you watch them at South Carolina.
But again, South Carolina, outside of last weekend, has become a buzzsaw.
That's a good team.
Ford, do you have a hot take, or do you want to? I've
got a hot take.
Okay.
My hot take: undefeated Army again, highest rank since 1927 or whatever the number is at 16. It's a great story. Yankee Stadium. We appreciate everything this Army program and
all the setup.
Yes.
I'll take them.
Notre Dame.
I'll take them in any war.
Thank you for your service.
Yes, love you.
But
Notre Dame runs about 42.
Notre Dame runs.
Ooh, hot take.
By the way, I think Forster agrees with you.
Yeah.
Scott thinks it's going to be a big
I
one.
think
Forster
it is.
projected the score 42-9,
and it really just comes down to Marcus Freeman. He's always got his arms crossed, doing this.
Yeah.
Whether or not he looks over there and he sees our great stars and stripes, and he's like, man, we need to take it easy on these guys. They don't have NIL.
I mean, if
they don't have transfer portal.
If ever you're going to call the dogs off, it's against Army.
Yeah, I would agree.
Or Navy, or Air Force.
Or Marines.
Or the Marines. The Marines don't have a team.
FMI. Does Auburn call the dogs off against Texas A&M? Those students, some of them wear uniforms.
No, it's a conference game. You can't show them.
Right.
You can't show them any.
Let's get to our Monday's headlines today. It is brought to you by our friends at McCurry Van and Car Rental. We'll get to 4 downs in a second.
All right, you rent from McCurry Van and Car Rental. They got all those rentals that are very difficult to find right now. Cars, vans, trucks, SUVs, the big moving trucks. They've got all that. Passenger vans, easy to rent, in and out fast. Athens, Muscle Shoals, Huntsville, 2nd Avenue Northwest in Coleman, Skyland Boulevard in Tuscaloosa. You can reserve your rental today, 256-559-1003. 256-559-1003 or visit McCurryRentals.com. Hit it, young Tyler.
The College Football Spotlight.
Like the game's already been played. Monday's headlines today.
Yeah, I'll start us off because I'm usually worse at this segment.
So bad.
Yeah.
It's really embarrassing.
It really is. I was pretty good at them last year. There we go. The gym clips this week. Moscano, Cajun for LSU is burning. 5-star quarterback flips to Michigan.
What is he wearing?
That's his.
Is that his smoking jacket?
That's his smoking jacket when Alabama's burning. If you watch his show. You see this? It's a great rescue story down middle. Auburn football pulls woman from cliff. if you've been following Taylor on,
is this the third time you've had a picture of her on your headlines?
I'm just saying, if you follow her on social media, she posts a picture of her on the cliff or not on the cliff every Auburn football weekend. I think she gets rescued off the cliff this weekend. Tigers beat A&M 20-17, which will go against me saying they scored for 21, but.
Yeah, that is weird. I mean, you just literally said that not once.
One was at 6:15 and one was at 10:40. Okay. And then big surprise here. I don't know if you can tell in that mock-up, but that's actually a Nick Saban dress. Saban Fashion wins Paris show for 2025. Apparently, the Saban line of wear is going to sweep America. In the world, in fact. The Saban dress there.
Can you zoom in on that, Tyler? Is this legit?
Yeah, I would hate to see the woman that is wearing that.
That's not a wedding dress, is it?
It's not a wedding dress, but it is a nice little dress there for spring and summertime.
I think your sizing is going to have to be up. That looks in the realm on that hanger of like a size 6 to 8.
Right.
I think you're...
It's way too small for whoever's wearing it.
Yeah, your typical is going to be a plus size, a 12, 14 in that thing.
Well, maybe, I mean... the
arms are cut right.
Maybe you want just like early Saban, maybe only one national championship ring. You get a smaller size there. But if you're going all the rings, the size has to be big there.
09. I'll take an 09 Saban.
Those are my headlines. Who's next?
I'm going to Gainesville, Florida. What happens here, Tyler? Ole Miss gets a case of the swamp ass. Playoff hopes crushed. Kiffin. Most painful DJ I've ever endured.
Is that in the Swampy Sunday Special, Lance? Is that your paper?
Yep, that's it.
The old Swampy Sunday Special?
I love that. The only problem is the pages stick together.
Oh, yeah.
Most painful DJ I've ever endured. You think Kiffin sticks around the club when the DJ starts playing?
I think Kiffin's one of those sneaky guys that lets other guys do his work.
He doesn't have to go to the club?
Yeah.
I am also going to Gainesville. This coming from the independent Florida Alligator. Florida man calls his train derailment. We see stories like this all the time in trash.
Oh, yeah.
Florida man is all over the place in trash, but it's happening again Saturday. Derailment. Look how upset Lane is there. Very, very sad.
He's pouting. Look at those lips. He's got pouty lips.
He's got pouty lips. That's what's going to happen. You get knocked out of the playoffs. Page 2, we got a Birmingham sportscaster. He's the latest suspect in a rampant theater popcorn container theft ring.
Oh, yeah.
It's Birmingham.
Tyler, we do not point out the typos.
Yeah, we do.
Relatively new in that seat right there. We do not point out the typos.
Hey, when we went to get our large popcorn last night at Gladiator 2, Maddie was like, let's get the Coliseum. And I was like, we ain't getting the Coliseum.
They're like $30.
Dunaway has ruined it for me. We do not like to dance on the grave of the newspaper industry. The typos have put them under, so please let's not make fun of those. Page 3, authorities fear the worst in the case of internationally known sports analyst, the Brown Bandit.
What is the worst? He loses another game?
Well, I think the worst is you never see him again.
Dismembered in a garbage bag?
He's at the bottom of Smith Lake or something like that.
My remains play of the year.
Back from the grave.
My resurrection special, if I don't get this one right. That's our headlines brought to you by our friends at McCurry Van and Truck Rental.
McCurryRentals.com is the place you start, McCurryRentals.com. They have got locations all over the Birmingham area. What did it say? Birmingham?
You left out an N.
And I didn't. The Florida Independent Alligator did.
Yep.
McCurryRentals.com.
And our friends at Storm Restoration Roofing. We're about to do 4 downs right here, but Storm Restoration Roofing wants to remind you that you only need one shingle down on your roof right there, and that loosens that shingle. It is displaced. Water can enter a roof and cause major problems. One shingle, major storm damage, everything in between. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing can help you out. 205-542-3531. Locally owned, family owned for over 20 years. Free quotes, free evaluations, and A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. They handle the storm damage, the roof replacements, insurance roofing claims, restorations, inspections, and they do it with the local crew. 205-542-3531 or Greg from Pell City on Facebook. And 4 downs brought to you by our friends at Slice.
Yeah, 5 great locations. Slice will be here in about 45 minutes. Everybody remember that? Tyler,
everybody
Forster.
Came hungry. Everybody showed up hungry.
Is Melton here yet?
He is right there.
Melton, you excited?
So excited. Yes, sir.
Nothing like a free lunch, and nothing like free lunch from Slice.
Yeah, looking forward to that. But if you obviously you can't get up here. It's a closed pizza party for the next round today. Yes. But you could get to one of those 5 great locations for lunch or dinner. Lakeview, Vestavia, Montevallo, Crestline Park, newest location in Edgewood. Get out, see the Bajaya Brothers, local pizza, local ingredients. For more information, slicebirmingham.com.
First down.
More realistic. Jim Harbaugh has the Chargers in a Super Bowl in the next 4 years, or Bryce Underwood has Michigan playing for the national championship. I'll go first. Jim Harbaugh with the Chargers in the Super Bowl. And I think it'll happen. I think Hebert is really starting to build confidence. And Harbaugh in this Jesse Minter defense have really stamped themselves as being one of the best defenses in the NFL. Like, I don't think they get there this year, but would I be completely floored or shocked if they did? I would not.
Yeah, but okay, if they make the playoffs this year and don't get it, then 50% of the teams aren't going to be in the playoffs again next year. That could be the Chargers. If you'd have said Michigan in the Final Four, winning the Big Ten, I'd take Michigan. Michigan in a national championship game again, that seems to be a bridge too far.
Well, the Chargers have only been in one Super Bowl in the history of the organization.
Yeah. They have. Michigan's only won one national championship in the playoff era.
Yeah, I would say neither, but I guess I would go Harbaugh in the Super Bowl too. Brown?
I think I'll go Harbaugh in the Super Bowl. Yeah.
Second down.
Better chance of getting upset as nearly 2 touchdown favorites this weekend. Ohio State at home against Indiana, or Alabama on the road in Norman.
Well, Indiana's the better team, so I would go Ohio State getting upset by Indiana. It's hard for me to convince myself Oklahoma could upset Alabama. That's just not a very good football team.
Okay, but what if I said Alabama played like they did against USF?
I would tell you we haven't seen that Alabama team since then, so
okay.
I don't think they've got that in them right now.
What if I tell you Alabama plays like they did against South Carolina? And actually, these two teams are a little bit alike.
South Carolina is a much better team than Oklahoma, though. So,
yeah, they are now offensively, but in that game, it was built on the defensive pass pressure that caused the problem to the Alabama offense.
What if I told you Ohio State, after Nebraska got beat 56-7, including play in the second half of the backup quarterback to Indiana, bounces back and has Ohio State on their heels on a final possession? If Ohio State plays like that against Nebraska.
I don't think either one of these are shoe-in walk-away victories for either. I'll go Indiana with the best chance of the outcome.
I would say Indiana as well.
I just can't see Oklahoma playing the level of South Carolina. You got to have two to participate, right? And Oklahoma, I don't think they can do to Alabama what South Carolina did, even if they're playing their best game.
Yeah.
So
text me at 8:30 and just let me know where we stand on this, because I'm nervous about this game. But I get nervous about a lot of things.
You'll know where
you
we
don't
stand.
get nervous about.
Yes. Well, I mean, I'm not going to be nervous.
I don't know if you'll know where you stand at 8:30.
Yeah.
And you hope you do for Alabama.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
At 8:30, if it's tied at halftime, you'll be like, it's tougher than I thought it was going to be, Jim. This is only the third SEC home game for Oklahoma this year, right? Because they lost one of their home games for the Red River. So this is only their third one. That Tennessee game was tight. It was a crazy atmosphere. This will be like Auburn. This will be their best atmosphere of the year in Norman.
Just a couple of questions. Better offensive line, Alabama, Oklahoma.
Oh, Alabama. It's not even close.
Better receivers.
Alabama, not
better
even
backs.
Close. Alabama, not even close.
Better quarterback.
Alabama, not even close.
Better head coach.
Alabama, not even close.
Yeah, across the board.
And defense, I think it's a push. I think Alabama right now, the way they're playing, a little bit better, because I think that defense for Oklahoma is getting frustrated of carrying the offense.
Yeah. By the way, I would have gone all those same answers when Alabama played at Vanderbilt.
Yeah, I think if Alabama played Vanderbilt again, I don't think Vanderbilt sneak it up on them.
Third down.
More total touchdowns this weekend. Very important question. Jalen Milroe against Oklahoma or Jalen Hurts against the Rams?
I would go Milroe against Oklahoma. I mean, your college games are generally higher scoring than your NFL games. I think Milroe's playing at an elite level right now, playing some of the best football he's played coming out of Baton Rouge.
I think the Eagles are poised for a breakdown. What are they, 9-2 now or 8-2? 8-2. Were they not 0-2? Have they won 8 straight or 1-2?
I think they've won 5 or 6 straight.
Yeah, they've won a lot.
Yeah.
It's hard to win that many games in a row in the NFL. So I would go Milroe.
Yeah.
Fourth down.
I think Milroe's the right answer. That's the right, and that's the way you wanted us to answer.
Tyler putting the rush on us there. And finally, Scarlett Johansson is 40 years old today. Boy, she has lived quite the life in 40 years.
She's only 40.
Better career, ultimately, Scarlett or Joe Burrow?
You know, it's looking like Burrow is. I mean, this is so early to say this, but
should have done this in the hot take segment.
Just is never going to get that Super Bowl swagger back. You know, that one year they got hot, they go up to Buffalo, they win the playoff game, they get into the Super Bowl, and they've just never been able to replicate it. They get behind the 8 ball at the start of every season. Everybody's like, hey, it's always a slow starting team. Well, guess what? They started slow this year, and they've never unslowed. They started slow this year, and it's just continued the whole season.
Yeah, but
everybody
still, man, you heard
it.
Orlovsky. I mean, it is painful to watch because he is playing as well as any quarterback in the league.
Yes, but it doesn't translate to wins.
Well, in the offseason, is now a lot of you sit down with the front office, and you're like, you guys have got to do something with our defense. You absolutely have to.
Do you think they move on from Zach Taylor? I know you like him. He's an Old McVay guy.
Possibly, yeah. I mean, somebody's going to take the fall.
What's her best stuff?
Well, she's an Avenger.
I mean, I know what her best stuff is. What's her best role?
Is probably
Lost in Translation is probably
Avengers
her.
Is great.
Yeah, I mean, critically acclaimed movie.
Yep.
I tell you what, the trailers to all the movies leading up to Gladiator 2 were awful. Way too many Marvel movies being made right now.
But she's
actually cut back.
Harrison Ford is playing the Hulk.
He is Red Hulk. Yes.
Harrison Ford?
We've got a black Captain America now, and we've got a red Hulk.
Yeah.
But her best stuff has been the Marvel genre.
I mean, as far as like highest grossing stuff, yeah.
Money-wise, high profile.
I'll go Joe Burrow, but I'm a big fan. I just thought she'd been in better stuff. I'm rolling through this, and
she's kind of falling off now, too, in my opinion.
Yeah, I would go Burrow, too.
Yeah, I think I'd go Burrow.
Tim's got an opinion on this.
No,
so
he does.
She's about to be the face of the new Jurassic Park franchise that they're about to launch. So she's about to be resurgent in the blockbuster category very soon. But Marriage Story on Netflix is fantastic.
Yeah,
she's really good.
Adam Driver. So they're coming back with more Jurassic Park. I mean, we've got enough dinosaur stuff, got enough Marvel stuff.
They keep making billions of dollars. It's
guess.
going to continue. Yes.
Good reason to do it.
Yeah, I'll keep in mind we have now been doing 4 Downs for 15 years. Because it's
but it's always different.
I know,
always
it is. But it's
Gus Malzahn used to make a lot of appearances. He doesn't now.
But the reason we do it is because it's brought to you by great folks like our friends at Slice.
Well, we do have to have segments in the show as well. So even if we didn't have a great sponsor, we might slide in 4 Downs. But Slice, pick up a couple of pizzas this weekend on your way home. Stop by for a slice and a salad. You're going to love it. From the hot mama to the soul pie, the Bajalia special, wing and a prayer, local pizza, local ingredients, created by the late Jeff Bajalia. His brothers, Jason and Chris, continue to celebrate his legacy. For more information, slicebirmingham.com.
All right. And before we get to the top of the hour here, one more big thing, and then LT will tell us about our friends at Gray's. A couple of things going on in baseball. I know we're in the off season here. But one of them yesterday, unanimous MVPs, Aaron Judge in the American, Shohei Ohtani in the National League, and both of them unanimous. 58 home runs for Judge, 54 for Ohtani, and they did a lot of other stuff too, and met in the World Series. So, I mean, pretty easy call on the MVPs.
Yep,
right?
I don't disagree with you on that. Yep.
2 things that I don't understand, and the last one's going to surprise you. Robo-umps. Robo-cops would be more fun. Robo-umps are coming to spring training this year with a challenge system, and they expect to be in the big leagues in 2026. I don't want robot umpires.
I don't either. Human error is part of the game.
Yeah.
Well, do you think they're more accurate?
I don't care if they are. Like a ball and strike because of a half a ball inside or outside?
I think that's part of the adjustment. Yeah. I think, watching how an umpire calls a game and pitchers actually adjusting to that, I just think it's part of baseball. I think robo umpires is, in my opinion, completely stupid.
Yeah, I mean, we got a bunch of guys who've been calling baseball a long time, and they grade them, and they suck at calling balls and strikes. I don't know why you want that to continue.
They actually
do.
They don't. If you go look at the grades, they don't suck at calling balls and strikes. They miss maybe 3 a game.
Oh, I think it's more than that.
Oh, I don't think so.
I do.
I don't think so.
Well, how many is the robo-ump going to miss?
Yeah, I agree with Dunaway on this. I think it gets magnified when you have the obvious call that is missed. Maybe the robo-umpire doesn't miss it, but I just think it's taken an element away from the game.
And my franchise in baseball, the Tampa Bay Rays, and I said this a long time ago. We said this a long time ago. However, I'm supposed to say that. But I was ready for the Rays to move out of Tampa, and was hoping for them to move to Nashville. I am officially ready for them to leave Tampa right now, St. Pete specifically. Last night, the city council They had to, rubber stamp repairing the roof on Tropicana Field. They voted no, not to repair it.
Yeah, well, that does it for them.
Could you see them? Hey, let's just make it open air.
Yeah. Well, no, you still got to pay millions of dollars to repair it. They're not going to repair the roof there, so they voted that down. So what are you going to do? You're just going to tear down that dome there now for conventions and whatever else you use it for?
Well, they should if you've been to it.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying. So, okay, the new one's not going to be ready. It's delayed now another year till at least 2028.
But they're not building on the same property, the new one, right?
No,
it was somewhere else in town?
It's supposed to be an entertainment center.
It was down near Ebro City, wasn't it?
No, it's in St. Pete.
Okay.
And it's just close to the field.
Okay.
Either move it across the bridge to Tampa, where you got more people anyway, more fans, or move it to somewhere else. Move it to Nashville. They want to put an expansion team there. I understand that. Go ahead and move it to Nashville. Find another city for expansion.
Would you have a place to play in Nashville this year? You remember when it was an act of God when San Antonio had the displaced Saints playing in their backyard in the Alamo Dome. If you had that, it would almost be worth Major League Baseball saying, okay, Nashville, here's your chance. Tampa, you guys didn't want to do these repairs. Right. We're going to put them in Nashville for a summer. You guys show out, see what you can do, and this might be the permanent home.
Nashville's, I would imagine their minor league baseball park is at least close to where they're going to have to play in Tampa.
Steinbrenner Field,
yeah. So whatever the stadium is up there, it's new. It's a newer stadium. Much like the one here in Birmingham, I think it's just as big or bigger.
I've only been to the old Sound Stadium.
Yeah. So I say go ahead and move it to Nashville. I will stay a fan if it moves to Nashville.
That's even closer for you to go to a game.
Yeah. But
got to change the name.
If they move it back to Montreal, I will not be a fan. I'll have to find a new team. I will either go back to my childhood team, the Cincinnati Reds, or I'll jump on the Atlanta Braves bandwagon.
It's good. That's what the Braves fans want.
Yeah. When we come back, more college football for you. The show being brought to you by Dr. B. Tell us about Dr. B.
Dr. B, best in the business. If you're starting to thin out a little bit, you want to maintain what you've got, you want to grow some of that back, you can do it thanks to our friend, Dr. Beckenstein. He is the absolute best when it comes to getting the hair back on track. I went to see him about 3 years ago. I do that non-invasive treatment 3 times a week, 30 minutes each time, on the couch, and my hair has more than doubled in thickness. Brown doing the same thing right now. Dr. B pioneered the use of NeoGraft hair restoration in Alabama, remains at the forefront of hair preservation in the Southeast. He takes pride in treating each patient personally, applying his expertise to produce those quality results. For more than 20 years, women and men have turned to Dr. B for a range of cosmetic and reconstructive procedures. Make the phone call that I made. Schedule the consultation. Tell them the next round sent you. 205-319-0316, 205-319-0316, or t3hair.net.
Take the next round anywhere you go with official Next Round gear. Buy yours today at nextround.store.
Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today.
Hey, you. It's the holidays. Give cheer a lift. And at New Balance Birmingham, we got the gift. That holiday vibe? Find it inside. Come together at New Balance Birmingham on Highway 280, right next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham, we got now.
If renting is putting a dent in your bank account, here's your sign from the universe that it's time to buy a new home. And who better to help you through the ins and outs of home buying than our friends at Mortgage Right. With Mortgage Right, you don't have to worry about becoming a short notice mortgage expert because they do all the heavy lifting for you. They're trusted mortgage professionals, and they'll help you choose the right mortgage option and stand by your side every step of the way. Visit mortgageright.com/TNR to buy before renting runs you dry. That's mortgageright.com/TNR. NMLS 2239, Equal Housing Lender.
Thanksgiving is here, and let the New York Butcher Shop be the place to get all of your holiday meal items. Their premium turkeys are fresh, free-range, and hormone-free. The New York Butcher Shop also has a wide selection of chef-prepared side items to help save you time in the kitchen. Pick up a bottle of wine, and your meal will be complete. Turkeys are selling fast, so place your order today. 2 locations to serve you, in Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well-done service.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Just because you've quit going to the gym, it doesn't mean that you have to quit gym altogether. Dunaway, that is. With our Next Round podcasts open 24/7, 365, you can access gym anytime you'd like. While you may have done away with your treadmill routine, our version of Dunaway is standing by ready to get you back to your absolute best. Find all that lovely Jimmy D-led content on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and in the podcast section of nextroundlive.com. This message is sponsored by Jimmy Crypto Inc. and Jimmy Crypto for President.
From the creators of The Next Round comes two new sites, covercrimson.com and thebarnauburn.com. Two team sites with the same excitement and information-driven content that you get every day on The Next Round. Live daily shows, recorded shows, free of charge, plus premium content with insider information starting at just $1. And it's the perfect gift for the Alabama or Auburn fan in your family. Covercrimson.com or thebarnauburn.com. Sign up today.
At Academy Sports and Outdoors, we believe the best holiday fun happens out there. On the driveway with a new basketball hoop, out back around the fire pit, or up in the deer stand. No matter your fun, we've got it. The right stuff at the right price.
The World Wide Web is a large place.
Have
Find
fun
all
out
your
there.
favorite people and content in the same spot. NextRoundLive.com is full of wonderful tidbits about the show you know and love. Find our gear, listen to your favorite personalities, follow our socials, and enjoy your trip to NextRoundLive.com.
Hang out with The Next Round on the go. Whether you're driving to work, running errands, sitting on the beach, or you just need a break from the real world, we can keep you company. Check out The Next Round, Mystery Fifth Hour, and our other shows on your favorite podcast app. We'll meet you there.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, The Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Final hour of the show, which includes more of our Buffalo Wild Wings Pick 3. Again, you can go right now. NextRoundLive.com. NextRoundLive.com, the website there. 2 more opportunities, including next week, Thanksgiving weekend, to jump in and win by going 3-0 in the Pick 3. You go in, you go 3-0, you get a ball in the bucket, and then we're going to draw for our grand prize from our friends at Buffalo Wild Wings. You're seeing, if you're watching us on the video platforms, how easy it is to do right there. And 250 is the magic number for the grand prizes, LT, and there are several people this year. We've averaged about 60 to 90 winners each week, and we got several people that got 3, 4, 5 balls in the bucket that could walk away with the grand prize.
Yeah, fun grand prize, too. $250 from our merch closet, $250 gift card from our friends at Buffalo Wild Wings. You use it at any of the 11 Central Alabama locations, including that Buffalo Wild Wings Go location. Make sure you participate in our Pick 3, brought to you by our friends at Buffalo Wild Wings.
Yeah, all right. So a new hour here, final hour of the show. A lot more college football in this half hour, brought to you by our friends at Champy's World Famous Fried Chicken, champyschicken.com. Highway 119 in Alabaster. High school football state playoffs continue. Are you at home this week, Melton? Home game?
That is correct.
Who do you have?
Alabaster tonight. We have Enterprise coming into town.
Ooh, Enterprise in Thompson tonight.
Last week was the real tough one against Auburn on the road. Ended up ruining their undefeated season. So
Yeah.
Thompson continues their path, hopefully, to another blue map.
Then our buddy buddy Josh and Spain Parks on the road down at Saraland. So everybody's going all over the place for the high school football playoffs. If you're anywhere near Highway 119 in Alabaster, or you want to pick up the to-go package for tailgating on Saturday night down on the plains, you can do it with Sterling and the crew, champyschicken.com. All right, Brandon, we'll give you some lines on these games from our friends at MyBookie, but let's talk more and more about these games. Let's go first, Alabama. Tyler, if you give me cut number 1, Jahad Campbell, man, this kid has been fantastic from day one, but here lately, much like the Alabama defense, his play has gone up, up, up. And he says it all started when 11 started playing as 1 for the Alabama defense.
I mean, really just, we here for a reason. You see on the walls national championship numbers and it's SEC championship or conference numbers. And, when you just think about it, it's like, bro, we're here for a reason. Everybody has the same ultimate goal, the same outcome goal. So, You know, if you with us, you with us. And if you're not, then you can excuse yourself out and you can get out, and we don't even got to worry about you. But we all like everybody here is worried about what's Alabama going to do to keep getting better each and every day.
This guy's starting to get some first-round talk.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's
exactly what I was about to say, Brown. This guy's been all over the field lately.
He has been.
I was talking about this Bama and Bourbon with Aaron Suttles. I think he could sneak his way as a first-team All-American. I mean, you think he's playing to that level right now?
He was his Mona Lisa was the LSU game. That guy was sideline to sideline all over the field in that LSU game.
You could not say it better. And Alabama leads the FBS with 5 straight games with 2+ takeaways. Leads the FBS with another team for 5 straight games with 2 or more turnovers. You know who the other team is?
I'm on a heater. I blew his mind.
Blew my mind.
Yeah, I get. Well, so
this one you've seen?
No, I have not. It's one of 132, obviously.
One more time.
1 of 134, I think. Is it 134?
There's 133. Alabama's not it, so I was going 132 anyway.
Texas A&M. Nope, that's a different set. Alabama leads the FBS with 5 straight 2 or more turnovers games in a row from their defense. One other team is tied with them.
I'm going to say it's Colorado.
Ooh, that'd be a good answer.
I am going to say that it is Indiana.
It's another SEC team. It's the Texas Longhorns. We all think Texas has a good defense, but that Longhorn team has not been flashy. They're not flashy. You watch their games, and it's just like it's almost like that 20-10 win over Arkansas. It's like, God, they're so good. Texas is so good. But that was a 20-10 win. Texas is so good, but that Mississippi State game is still sort of in doubt at halftime or the third quarter. Texas is so good, but you know they beat Vandy in Nashville. But that was a close game. But you watch their games; it seems to be like they're all close games. But you look at them; they've got 7 games that they've won by 19 or more.
And I think they're in trouble as a 10-2 team that is not in Atlanta. Like in the scenarios, they either have them losing this week to Kentucky, which I don't think is very likely.
Yeah, I don't see that.
But losing next week to Texas A&M, I think could be a death blow for them because that knocks them out of Atlanta, and I think puts them in very, very, very on very thin ice for the college football playoff.
Texas fans think that. I do every Thursday in Austin with our friend Chet Brown and with Zay, and I told them my scenario that I think A&M loses to Auburn but then turns around and beats Texas, and they were like, oh, no. And I asked them, do you think that keeps Texas out? And they said probably so.
So they're accepting it there.
Yeah, I mean they don't like it, but, I mean, they're accepting of the fact that best win is going to be possibly against 6-6 Vanderbilt team.
And I guarantee you Texas fans all over Austin chuckled when Oklahoma was bitching about Texas getting that easy schedule. And they knew in the back of their mind Oklahoma was right about that. Oklahoma fans were right about that. But I bet they chuckled about that. And now that is the thing that could come back to bite them. If they had just played a tougher schedule in the conference, maybe they get another loss. I don't know. Maybe they could not have withstood a tougher schedule if they had to play an additional game against Alabama or Ole Miss or LSU or whoever it was. They may not have withstood that anyway.
Best defense in the SEC right now. I mean, both of you are thinking Alabama, though, too, right? But it's in the conversation.
I think it's almost the same as who's the best team in the SEC. Like, I don't think there's a wrong answer. Like, I think I could tell you that it's Ole Miss. I think I could tell you it's Georgia. I think I could tell you it's Alabama. It's Tennessee. I mean, there's a lot of different.
Texas is good.
Yeah. I'm going to say it's Ole Miss, though. I mean, the last time I saw them out, Lance, they held Georgia to 10 points.
If in fact it is Ole Miss, then Ole Miss can't lose to Florida.
You wouldn't think.
Yeah, you can't lose to a freshman quarterback, DJ Lagway, as a double-digit favorite.
But you see what the league we're talking about here when I tell you that we just named 5 different teams whose defenses we're debating are the best in the Southeastern Conference?
Yeah. They did give up 31 to Arkansas, but that was a game that Ole Miss got way out in the lead, and so I'm not going to judge that 31 to Arkansas.
But those great Alabama defenses, remember how they always had that one game where it would end up like...
Yeah, Kirby was bad about that.
Like it would be one game where it would be a 44-38 shootout or something like that.
I mean, most of the time, Kirby Smart, you could count on him holding the opponent under 21, but there was that random game where the offense had to score 45 to win. I mean, I'm not going to argue against you guys if you say Alabama. I would say this: Alabama's probably the hottest defense in the SEC. But there again, you can make an argument on opponent for them. They played Missouri. I know a shutout is a shutout. And you say that a lot, and you're absolutely right when you say that. But you will admit Missouri was less at quarterback. I mean, Drew Pine is not a good quarterback.
Gave the game away with his interceptions.
Yeah. They played LSU, which I thought was more impressive than probably what they got credit for.
I think it was their best game of the year.
Best defensive game in a long time, actually, I think.
Going back what you said about Ole Miss, if they are the best defense, no way DJ Lagway can beat them. I think if Alabama is the best defense in the SEC, I think Alabama, that shows you that they should be maybe your favorite to win the national championship. I mean, that offense averages 40 points, and somebody asked the other day, I wonder if Milroe goes back to the Milroe against Tennessee. Yeah. I mean, I can't explain that. Like, how would that happen outside of an injury or?
If he wasn't hurt, just a desire to run the football. I mean, you have to have a little. You have to have a little want to.
I think that's gotten worked out now.
Well, I mean, I think you saw that Saturday. There were called runs for him Saturday against Mercer. Like, if you're trying to keep him from doing that, or if he has basically told coaches,
"You're right,
don't call me run play,"
you don't do it against Mercer.
You're not doing it against Mercer. He could have stood in the pocket and thrown for the first half and never pulled the ball down and run, and you beat Mercer.
Hear from an Auburn player in just a second, and we'll update you on the lines. But first, Gray's Tree Services take care of the dead pines or any other trees in your yard. Maybe you got a limb that's going to knock your power out, or maybe damage your house. You want to take a limb down or a whole tree down. I'm sure they'll pull out some bushes, some old ugly bushes they don't like. They'll do it all for you. Gray's Tree Service.
Yes, they could do anything you need. Our friends at Gray's, family owned and operated for over 25 years right here in Birmingham. Experts in the high-risk tree removals, pruning, soil health treatment. They will strengthen those trees and plants around the house. Gray's maintains a fleet of specialized cranes and lifts. Get the job done right. Prevent damage to your home. Call 205-281-6100. Very important. Mention the next round. You can scan that QR code or just go online to graystree.com.
Zach in the MyBookie.ag chat room says, Kane with his bandolier, fanny pack, and index card of plays has turned it around. I mean, boy, you get criticized for everything, don't you? Yeah. Coach Womack, want to wear the school colors again today? Nope, all black again.
He's in all white sometimes.
I like the bandolier, fanny pack, and index card. He does have that small play card.
Yeah, he
does. When the defense is going well, yeah. When the defense is at Vanderbilt and struggling, you're like, boy, I tell you what, I'd like a few more plays on that card.
At least get a 16-by-9.
Yeah. Maybe come out in the second half with more plays.
Yeah.
Bandolier, fanny pack.
He is the God rest his soul, Mike Leach of the defense, right? Mike Leach always had a small little sheet of paper.
There was not a lot on that for Leach, but it worked every game just about. Yeah. Just about.
Give us the updated lines from our friends at MyBookie.ag. Before you give us updated lines, tell us about a casino at MyBookie.ag. We can go there and play a little blackjack, a little roulette, whatever you want to do.
You can, and right now with code Next Round, you can get a 300% bonus when you make your initial deposit for the casino. 300% in the casino. So you got a ton of money to play with right there, right away at MyBookie.ag. All the casino games you love, live casino right there. Heck, we'll throw in 50 spins for you. Just use code Next Round, 50 free spins, 300% casino bonus when you use code Next Round at MyBookie.ag. MyBookie.ag, code Next Round. All right, let's hit the big games.
Please.
Alabama minus 13.5 at Oklahoma has not moved basically in 2 days.
Yeah, holding.
Auburn plus 2.5 as they play host to Texas A&M. A&M a 2.5-point favorite. Fuhrman said he would like it to get up to 3, but he does not see any way that gets up to 3, so it looks like it's going to stay there.
I think he said first half under was his play.
He liked first half under. The two biggest movers, these aren't huge, but in gambling terms, Lance, I think you would say it's a pretty big move. Ole Miss up to 12. That has jumped up 3 whole points this week.
Yeah. I know my headline was different. I kind of like Ole Miss as well.
Yeah, I kind of like Ole Miss. I just was looking for an easy headline. This point in the year, I'm out of ideas. The biggest mover overnight, and this is I don't want to oversell it, Lance, but it feels like overnight. A 3-point move is a significant move.
It is.
Ohio State went from a 13.5-point home favorite to a 10.5-point favorite overnight.
Yeah,
that's a big move.
Either big, smart money, right?
Well, and Fuhrman said, hey, these aren't the blue-haired ladies, that are coming off the slots that are actually playing this. He said there are credible bettors in Las Vegas that are putting money right now and backing Indiana.
Or sometimes an injury that we don't know about. I don't think the center, Seth McLaughlin, will be enough to move at 3.
No. That would take a quarterback,
It would take a Will Howard.
Probably,
A Will Howard injury.
Maybe. I mean, they've got a stud receiver, obviously.
And they got 2 running backs. I don't think either one would move the line that much.
Yeah, I mean, it would have to be a Will Howard injury, and there was just no rumblings of that at all.
No. By the way, they don't have the availability report that we have in the SEC.
They don't have that in the Big Ten yet.
Yeah, it's coming. It's coming to everywhere. But I talked to somebody about the availability report the other night.
Right.
And they've been really very impressed, and they've liked the way it's worked, from the league office to the coaches and the schools. For instance, when somebody's a game-time decision questionable, they shared with me the numbers this year. 48% of the time, the questionable player has not played. 23% of the time, he has played, and
so questionable has played only 23% of the time.
Has not played 48% of the time.
Yeah.
Has tried to play, and then had to come out at 23% of the time, like Brady Cook in the Alabama game.
Okay.
And then the rest of those percentages, they played near or at their normal minutes. So basically, it's a 50-50 proposition, and that's what questionable
should
be.
Yeah, I agree.
And they, this person told me there's only been one time that maybe somebody's had to call a coach and say, "Hey, don't F around with the availability report," and that was we brought it up on the air when Ole Miss had 38 players on their injury report.
So Kiffin got a call?
Who called him?
I would imagine it came from the top.
Yeah, you think Greg Sankey might have made that phone call?
And the very next day, the availability report looked very different by the time they got to kickoff.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't paid as close attention to it as I thought I would, just to be honest with you. There have been very few, massive names on there that you're really, really watching on the availability report. Because most of the time, if it's a guy that's out for the season, because the first availability report doesn't come till Wednesday, you already know he's out for the season before it's on that availability report.
But I don't know how the fans feel, but I've liked it, and I think it's been for the most part, except for one Wednesday report that got corrected, I think the coaches have been very honest about it, and the numbers that the folks who keep up with this kind of thing have relayed to me say that it has worked, and the coaches have been very honest about their injury report. So good for them. Auburn goes in as about as healthy as you can be this time of year, taking on a Texas A&M team. Marcel Reed's their quarterback, and Texas A&M's got a path to an SEC championship and the college football playoff still in front of them, and that is something that inspires Auburn. Tyler, if you will, hit Jalen McLeod. Let's hear what he says.
Electrifying crowd, because they know it's when to go home for us, and we want to be spoilers. They plan for something over there, the 12-man playoff. They plan for that, and we want to spoil that. So and the crowd know that, we know that, and that we both gonna bring energy. So it's gonna be electrifying.
Electrifying crowd at Jordan-Hare Stadium.
I think he's actually right about that.
Yeah, I do too. Tell me the game you're looking forward to the most this weekend.
Indiana and Ohio State.
Yeah, so you're not going to, do you think that disappoints you?
It could. I don't think it will. But the reason I think everybody's looking forward to this because they want to know how good is Indiana? If Indiana, how different does the narrative of the entire season change if Indiana beats Ohio State and this $20 million roster?
They're painted as discount coaches and outcast players taking on the roster that was bought of nothing but the best of the best.
Yeah. You've got 2 coaches on that staff. You've got maybe the best defensive coach in football that nobody talks about in Jim Knowles. You've got Ryan Day, who has coached in a national championship game. You've got Chip Kelly, your offensive coordinator, who has coached in a national championship game. And you've got a bunch of ragtag guys. Curt Cignetti got his first Power 4 job at 62.
Ragtag.
I would
hope they get a first down.
I would say the thing that scares me the most about Indiana in this contest is the roster that they've played that's as close to Ohio State, and that team's not having a good year, is Michigan.
Yeah, and it was 20 to 15.
20 to 15.
Yeah.
It was when Indiana looked the most average.
I agree.
And now they're playing.
Well, this is the best,
a better roster than that one.
It's the only defense that compares to what they'll see. Michigan, in spite of all their flaws, still has a solid defense. Not as good as it was last year. They lost a lot of guys to the NFL.
Yeah, and I would just say that everybody really has an off week.
Yeah.
I mean, they just do.
I wish Dunaway, BYU, Arizona State kicked at the same time as the victory bell. I mean, I wish we had two 9:30 games. One of them was USC, UCLA, and the other one was Arizona State, BYU. With that said, it's part of what could be a sneaky good 2:30 window. Don't sleep on the 2:30 window. Penn State, Minnesota, Lance thinks will be a tight game. I don't know if you've come off that any.
No, I haven't.
That's your 2:30 CBS game.
I hope so.
Your 2:30 ESPN game is BYU, Arizona State. Massive implications in the Big 12.
Yeah, should be a 9:30 kick.
As does Colorado at Kansas. That's your 2:30 Fox kick.
That would be my second most intriguing game because I do think Kansas wins a game.
Now, I don't think Kentucky has anything for Texas, but in the event they do, that also is at 2:30. I mean, that could be a sneaky good 2:30 window right there.
By the way, Kentucky's covered their last two games. They're being portrayed as a team that's improving late in the year.
That is a bridge too far for me to see them win in Austin. But if Texas is the pretender that some people think they are, Kentucky has a weird way of exposing that. Kentucky can ugly up a football game better than anybody in the world.
I'm laying it.
And you saw it at Ole Miss. You're laying Texas?
Yep.
Yeah. You saw it at Ole Miss when they put together all those long drives. Like there was that one 8.5, 9-minute drive where they just could not get Kentucky off the field. And that's what they're is just about as good at anybody is doing.
Can you think of the last time Kentucky's went on the road and won a top 3 type game?
At Ole Miss. I mean, would you call that a top 3 type game?
Yeah. It wasn't top 3 at the time, though.
I mean,
so you mean somebody that's ranked in the top 3?
Yeah.
Oh, it's probably never happened.
1964.
Yeah.
And it was Ole Miss. So you
I was right.
You stumbled into getting that right again, too.
Right.
You're on fire today on stumbling into getting stuff right.
You know, the funny thing, we haven't talked about this angle at all, but we heard the clip and millions of people have seen it with Elko saying Auburn. Nobody's talking about Sark and Texas looking ahead as a 3-touchdown favorite over Kentucky.
There you go. And
can you imagine if Texas lost this game at home in front of their fans when they're all getting ready to go to College Station and figure out how to buy tickets and how to stamp punch their first ticket to a college football playoff?
And it creates a difficult spot for Texas because I don't know that they've got a path to Atlanta if they lose that game. And I think a 2-loss Texas team,
they
even
lose
with a win over A&M.
Kentucky at home?
I know. A 2-loss Texas team, even with a win over A&M, might need to be in Atlanta to get in the college football playoff.
Could be left out.
Yeah.
Our friends at Hemp Hill bringing you this part of the show, hot and cold, whether the heat's running or the air conditioning is running. 52 the high today. Hopefully you had a chance to get that heat checked out. If you haven't, you still can. So it'll be good all winter long. If you had some problems as you turned it on, Hemp Hill's the people to call.
Yeah, trusted name. Birmingham has trusted since 1954 for all of your plumbing, heating, and cooling. If you have any of these issues in your home or business, Adam, Chad, Andrew, the guys there ready to serve you. 205-229-2090 or hemphillservices.com.
There is a guy cashing in on his success, and he is going to be a name that will come up for some open jobs, whatever jobs might come open. But Matt Zenitz is reporting that SMU and Rhett Lashlee have agreed on an extension. It's a good move for Rhett, by the way.
Oh, it is. Yeah.
20-4 the last 2 years at SMU, 9-1 this season, and in the hunt for a college football playoff spot. Don't have any financial terms. SMU obviously is a private school, so those don't get disclosed necessarily as easy as some of the public schools do. I got to imagine, though, Rhett, what would you guess at SMU? $4.5, $5 million?
I was going to say $5 million.
Do you think that's what he was making, or that's what this raise will be?
I think that's what this raise will be, too.
Okay, good for Rhett.
Yeah.
I mean, if
I think he's probably making 3.5.
Yeah.
So this will get him to what?
I would say 5, maybe 6.
I'll see if I can find what he was. Again, private school.
But with all sorts of money.
I mean, the key, back to Chip Brown, he's an SMU grad, and his fear as an SMU fan is to lose Rhett Lashlee to Arkansas. We talked about that earlier on the show this week. There is a chance Sam Pittman either gets fired or retires, and that would be target number one. I think we all agreed, stay at SMU, stay in the ACC, where it might be a one-bid league every other year, but you can probably dominate, or at least you're up at the top of that league. Arkansas is a very difficult job.
So 2.3 is where Rhett is, according to multiple reports. So if you doubled it, now you got him up around 5. So I think that's probably about where he is, but that is not enough. If it comes down to money, that's not enough to keep him away from these open jobs.
Yeah, I say he got more of a raise than that. I say it's going to be $7 million.
Again, I'll say, if you're going to pay all that money to go to the ACC, and you're going to invest the way you have in NIL, you're dumb not to also keep investing in your coach if he's winning like this.
That's right.
I mean, I know it doesn't make a ton of sense to go from $2 million to $7 or $8 million, but why invest all that money if you're not going to keep the coach that you think can coach you to that point.
Next time you're on with them out in Austin, since he's an SMU guy, I don't think they'll ever be in the SEC because of the footprint the SEC has with Texas A&M. Ask him what he thinks of my thoughts of them being a Big Ten school one day. Because of their money
if it gets
that
to a
market
point where we've only got two leagues, it's got to be one or the other, right?
That's right.
Hey, Brant's right. How pissed will all these A&M and Texas fans be if they miss the playoffs and SMU makes it in year one?
Automatic bid, man.
I mean, how pissed are they going to be?
Yeah. I don't know if you guys if you're old school SEC people, Kentucky beating Texas or somehow Texas getting left out of this thing, it's not going to hurt my feelings. Not going to hurt my feelings.
You want the blue blood SEC in there.
Just a traditional SEC team, at least this first year. Not going to kill me there. All right, Champy's Chicken brings you this hour good for Rhett Lashlee. He's a guy that we've always enjoyed when we've had a chance to have him on the show here, all the way back to his days at Samford, right? Samford to Auburn to was he 1 year at Samford?
I
wrong about that?
believe he was. Yeah. Yeah.
Yep, he was, says Forrester. I only know that because I think the same person who cut my hair back then also cut his wife's hair. So I had a lot of hair back then.
How long that's been?
I had a lot of hair. I went to see a beautician back then.
Don't miss, who was it that was on our show yesterday that brought up the name? We had so many guys. Oh, it was Dvorak for the possible Oklahoma offensive coordinator, Joe Craddock, the former Briarwood quarterback. People may have lost track of him. He's with our
Tulane?
Yeah, he's with our guy Summerall at Tulane, offensive coordinator at Tulane.
Was it Troy with him?
Yeah, he came with him from Troy to Tulane. So that would be an interesting move if a local guy gets the Oklahoma OC job like that.
So he was Arkansas, Troy,
then with him to Tulane. Yeah,
that'd be continue to move up, but Tulane's a good place to hold on to for former Briarwood quarterback there. All right, Champy's Chicken, Highway 119 in Alabaster, destination lunch location. You can go by there any day and enjoy the great Southern fried chicken, brined overnight, cooked to order, Mississippi Delta recipe, tamales, the hand-cut chicken fingers, and so much great food there. It is so good at Champy's Chicken with Sterling and the crew. We're about to enjoy some pizza on the other side and trash and our pick three picks all straight ahead right here on the next round.
Call the next round now at 205-734-0923.
Man, I love a good meal. I'm Jim Dunaway. A good meal is what you get with my friend Sterling at Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster. We're talking great Southern fried chicken, wonderful sides, hand-cut chicken fingers, po' boys, and those Mississippi Delta recipe tamales. You got a perfect menu for everybody. Champy's Chicken is perfect for watching the big game, or taking a meal to the lake house, down to the coast, or stay in the restaurant and dine in a great atmosphere. It's all made fresh to order right there on 119 in Alabaster, Champy's Chicken.
Buying that perfect home is one of the most important financial decisions you'll ever make, so it's crucial that you have the right partner to help you through the process. Hi, I'm Lisa Zeig, Vice President Mortgage Loan Officer for Bryant Bank, and I'm here to tell you that we are that partner, making it easy to buy with confidence. We offer a variety of mortgage products to fit your unique home buying situation. That kind of hassle-free approach might not be what you'd expect from a bank, but it's exactly what you can expect from us. Give me a call today or visit one of our 18 offices across the state of Alabama and let me show you what banking beyond expectation is all about.
Hey, you. It's the holidays. Give cheer a lift. And at New Balance Birmingham, we got the gift. That holiday vibe? Find it inside. Come together at New Balance Birmingham on Highway 280 right next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham. We got now.
In some places, football is a sport. In Alabama, it's a fine art. New Life Art is proud to announce Daniel A. Moore's upcoming painting, Deuces Wild. This season, Bama is blessed with a pair of very talented deuces. The pair played a huge role on both sides of the ball in the Tide's amazing 41-34 victory over number 2 Georgia. Deuces Wild will portray the unbelievable game-winning 75-yard touchdown catch by deuce number 1, Ryan Williams, late in the fourth quarter. The Dogs' last chance drive was stopped by deuce number 2, Xavier Brown, as he made the game-saving interception in the end zone, which will be celebrated separated by a small artist's remark in the bottom margin of each print. Go to danielmooreart.com to see the artist's preliminary sketch and take advantage of special pre-publication pricing for Deuces Wild. Also available, The Legend, Daniel Moore's final tribute to Coach Nick Saban. Order now at danielmooreart.com.
Looking for a great place for that boring meeting? Leave the office and go to the Golfus. What about corporate events like board meetings, sales meetings, customer appreciation events? How about the Golfus? Watch parties for football and basketball, parties for birthdays or couple showers. The Golfus is a great place for those. The Golfus has Birmingham's best golf simulators and man caves in Vestavia on Highway 31, opening soon in Trussville and on Highway 280. Bring whatever you want to eat or drink, even bring your own clubs. Get out of the office. Go to the Golfus. Book your spot now at thegolfus.com.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood.
At Academy Sports and Outdoors, we believe the best holiday fun happens out there. On the driveway with a new basketball hoop, out back around the fire pit, or up in the deer stand. No matter your fun, we've got it. The right stuff at the right price. Academy, have fun out there.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
Ryan Brown here for the Next Round. Join me and CBS sports analyst Brandon Marcello for the Middle 8 each Monday at 8 a.m. as we look back at the weekend of college football from the SEC to the top 25 of the college football playoff. It's the Middle 8 presented by MyBookie.ag, code Next Round.
Thanksgiving Thursday. So it's
here.
I almost said it's our favorite holiday. It's in the mix for our favorite holiday.
It's Lance's favorite, I think he said.
It is my favorite, yes.
It's one of mine, too. It's in the mix every year. I love it. And a great place to start Thanksgiving, New York Butcher Shop. I may go by today and swing by there and talk to them about what they can do for me turkey-wise.
Getting spatchcocked.
I have done it the last couple of years. Stop in, see our friend Jim, the fine folks at the New York Butcher Shop. They can do everything for you. Turkeys are fresh, all natural, hormone-free from Joyce Farms, one of the best poultry producers in all of America. The turkeys are fresh, but they can't smoke or brine them. They also carry smoked ham, certified Angus prime beef, tenderloins, rib roast, all other side dishes prepared in-house. We'll feed 8 to 10. However, they do have smaller sizes that we'll feed 4 to 6. Don't forget about the desserts, pies, cakes, that delicious banana bread, great wine selection as well. They're taking reservations. You need to get these in sooner than later. 2 locations, Cava Heights, Highway 119, the New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service.
And here's the deal. I mean, I've got Thanksgiving in Mentone. This would be strictly for me on Black Friday, and because my family stays in Mentone, and I come back here to do the Friday show and then Saturday football. I'd be going to the New York Butcher just for my own leftovers, to have leftovers. I think it's worth it.
I would agree.
Because I don't get leftovers usually. The leftovers stay up there with the throng,
here's
the big group of 55 that go to Thanksgiving up there.
Maggie and family can cling on to some hope if Oklahoma could pull off the upset on Saturday night. You could spend your entire weekend in Mentone.
I've got to work on Friday.
That's right.
If we're not working,
he does not want that to be.
If we're not working, I'm working.
What will you do if we're not doing a show work-wise?
There'll be a show. I guarantee you.
Yeah, maybe video only from my sports room, but there'll be a show Black Friday from 9 o'clock.
When was the last time the Black Friday where we had the Iron Bowl?
I think the last Black Friday Iron Bowl was 2009.
Is that right?
Yeah, at Jordan-Hare Stadium. That was 2009, the day Tiger Woods had the wreck.
Seems right.
That was a Black Friday Iron Bowl. I think it's the last one.
Wow, I thought we had a couple of shows at Jocks that we didn't do because Black Friday was on. Was Iron Bowl? Iron Bowl was on Black Friday.
I'm almost certain.
Anyway, if it's been 15 years,
because
well-deserved Black Friday break if Alabama loses. I don't think they will.
That's not going to happen. It's because it went from Black Friday in 2009. Then keep in mind how big the 10 game was. That was 2:30 Saturday. And then the only time it hasn't been 2:30 Saturday, Jim, was the night game you referenced the other day, which was 2014.
Yeah. Is there
now people are saying 2010 was Black Friday. I thought that was 2:30 on Saturday.
I thought it was Black Friday too.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe I'm wrong. I apologize.
Back-to-back years, the comeback.
Yeah, okay.
Black Friday.
I remember that being a Saturday game. I was there.
I just remember all business owners in this state were up in arms.
Yeah, they do not like a Black Friday Iron Bowl.
Do y'all have your pick threes ready to go? You want to do that before we do trash?
I'll put as little thought in it as I always do, yes.
Well, Brown, you want to wait. This is a crucial week for you.
No, it's not. What did I do last week? I put more thought in it than I ever have last week. What was my record?
2-1.
Okay. What did I do the week before when I didn't think about it?
2-1.
There you go.
So you're 2-1 regardless?
I'm saying I could probably throw a dart at Tyler. And I don't know why I'm throwing it at Tyler, but he just stood up when I said that. So I was going to throw a dart at Tyler and hit him, and he screams out a college football team. Just scream out the first three teams that come to mind, Tyler.
No.
No, yes. No. Colorado.
Ohio State. Boise State.
Thank you, Tyler. There's my pick three. Who's Boise playing?
If he comes back to beat me, I'm going to crush you.
Oh, is it meaningful?
It's got 2 weeks. We got 2 weeks left.
Yep.
I mean, there's possibility of 6-0 and 0-6.
I thought we were all out of this and terrible.
That was the upset alert was out of it. This one, everyone is still in it. If I go 0-6, we'll get to. We'll just stay in order. We'll go ahead and do trash now.
I've got mine now.
Yeah, do our MyBookie read lines, get all the plays at MyBookie.ag, MyBookie.ag, and then we'll hit the trash open.
I got to get my point spreads for the games Tyler has given me for MyBookie.ag. Ole Miss still a 12-point favorite at Florida, Indiana, and Ohio State. Ohio State a 10.5-point favorite. I don't know how you guys feel about a game right after a coach gets a contract extension.
Usually I don't like it.
Yeah, I usually don't like it either.
SMU a 10-point road favorite at Virginia.
That's a tricky game anyway.
It is a tricky game.
Yeah, it was 9.5, by the way.
Yeah, up to 10 right now. Jacksonville State, by the way, it's a big game for the Gamecocks.
Oh, it is.
No, it really is. Sam Houston State and Jacksonville State in Western Kentucky, all at the top of Conference USA. I'm pretty certain Jack State clinches a conference championship game.
I love the way I was agreeing with you, and you're like, no, it really is. No, I was agreeing with you.
I know, but I just thought you were patronizing me because I brought up the
I don't pay attention to the Conference USA standings?
I mean, not many people do. Jack State a home favorite over Sam Houston State, a 6-point home favorite. You can play all those games and many, many more. Auburn still a 2.5-point dog as they take on Texas A&M, and Alabama still a 13.5-point road favorite at Oklahoma. Lance's big game this weekend. God, you got to go all the way to the Rose Bowl, Lance, but USC's a 4.5-point favorite in the Rose Bowl.
It's a fun late night game.
Are they going to wear dark jerseys?
Yeah, they both
like
wear
that.
it. Yeah,
I like that. MyBookie.ag is where you play all those games. MyBookie.ag, code next round. That gets you that casino. Why are you breathing so heavy?
I think Tyler gave you a 3-0.
Well,
no.
Did I?
No, you didn't.
I think you did. I really did.
Dion, but I don't know anybody else on the others.
I think you gave him a 3-0.
MyBookie.ag. Code next round. That's the code you use when you sign on at MyBookie.ag, and you're going to get a 300% bonus in the casino. 300% bonus in the casino at MyBookie.ag. Code next round.
You know what this is?
What?
This is turned in. This will mean nothing to you because you're so young. But when I was a kid, there was this thing called Gilligan's Island. And I have turned into the skipper, and you're my Gilligan. It's just like every turn, with no ill intent, you're just helping people that are hurting me. It's insanity is what that is.
It might be the looks you give him.
Ooh. Maybe the Gilligan really didn't like the Admiral?
Yeah. Anything there, Tyler?
Do you like Dunaway?
What's that?
Do you like Dunaway?
I'm his 9th favorite employee up here right now. You ready?
Yeah, Tyler. The sounds of it, no.
Spin the wheel. Let's do trash.
Congratulations, the Cure Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductees 2019.
Is that already up?
Are you as excited as I am?
By the sounds of it, no.
LT's Trash is presented by Mortgage Right. Mortgages done the right way.
Oh, I can't wait to see our friends at Mortgage Right here in the next couple of hours. Just great guys, veteran founded here in Birmingham, offer loans throughout the country. While the area they serve may have grown, their commitment to Birmingham and veterans has not changed. Before you take the next steps on a new home purchase or refinance, talk with the team at Mortgage Right. No cost or obligation to find out what you qualify for. You can get more information. Go to their website, mortgageright.com. Call 205-900-7200, NMLS 2239. Equal housing lender. We start first. I've never understood these stories, but police in Peru have arrested a man caught trying to leave the country with 320 tarantulas, 110 centipedes, and 9 bullet ants strapped to his body.
I do believe we need to arrest these people, though. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
Okay.
28-year-old South Korean national was stopped at the Jorge Chavez International Airport in Lima on November 8th. After officials noticed that his stomach area looked, quote, bulky.
You look a little bulky there, fella.
Now, a search revealed hundreds of insects packaged inside a Ziploc bag strapped to the abdomen, according to the statement. Police detained the man who was traveling to South Korea via France. The insects are thought to have been taken from the Peruvian Amazon. They are now in the care of authorities. Tarantulas, threatened species, let them go. Walter Silva, a wildlife specialist, explained in a statement, quote, there were illegally extracted and part of an illegal wildlife trafficking worth millions of dollars globally. Peru is not the only South American nation facing problems with wildlife trafficking. In December of 2021, authorities in Colombia seized at least 232 tarantulas, 67 cockroaches.
Ugh.
Who wants cockroaches?
I don't know.
9 spider eggs and a scorpion.
Some people keep those hissing cockroaches as pets.
Why?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Insanity.
But people do it.
Yeah.
Same reason. Why does somebody keep somebody in a basement?
Yeah.
That's a good question, Lance. Those are a lot alike. Yes.
What I love about your brother is he's not going to be
exotic fish.
His exotic fish are going to be locally farmed.
You never know, man. He might be on a trash table if he could save $1 or $2. Getting somebody to bring an octopus up his ass, sneak it into the States.
I texted him after the show the other day, congratulated him,
really?
And told him I'd be a mule for him if I need to bring any fish in from foreign countries for him.
I wonder if he's already made so much bank he's ready to retire.
Ready to tap out.
Florida officials say they have taken a man pretending to be business mogul and SpaceX founder Elon Musk into custody.
Looks just like him, man.
Well, he needs a sleep son. He's been with Trump too much if that's the way he looks now.
On Wednesday, the Bradenton Police Department arrested Jeffrey Monahan, 56 years old, after they say he scammed a Texas woman out of $250,000, though officials think it could be more.
This is what always gets me, because you're about to tell me how Elon Musk scammed her out of $250,000.
It's sad. According to the police department, Monahan was impersonating Musk on Facebook in 2023 when a 74-year-old woman befriended him. After exchanging messages for several months, Musk encouraged the woman to invest in his businesses, promising her a $55 million return.
Yeah.
Now,
because, Elon Musk needs your $250,000.
Guy's got like $30 billion.
Financial records show that the victim transferred $250,000 to bank accounts owned by Monahan and his business called Jeff's Painting and Pressure Washing LLC.
Owned by Elon Musk.
Beyond that, the woman's husband said that she had transferred approximately $600,000 to the fake Elon Musk. Now, clarifying that the real Elon Musk, tapped by President-elect Donald Trump as the co-head of the all-new Department of Government Efficiency, was not being investigated by the police department. Officers say Moynihan was arrested at his home and will be further investigated. According to police department, fraud cases involving victims over 60 have resulted in losses of nearly $3 million this year, and that's just in their area. This guy should be decapitated.
Forrester is correct. This is Dr. Phil on rock bottom right here. This is the worst it's ever gotten for Dr. Phil. Is how he looks.
Man, you take advantage of our senior citizens and you bilk them out of money that they have earned their entire lives. Yep. I'm not kidding. I think it should be a capital offense. I think he should die.
Yep. I'm not against it.
Yeah. I'm serious when I say that.
Yeah.
Wow. So capital, at what level when they take money?
This
what
guy's
level
an absolute piece of shit. He
I
contributes
agree.
nothing to society.
I agree. I'm not arguing against you. I'm just saying where you gonna set the level. $600,000's obvious.
I think it's in anybody's life savings.
Yeah. Let's don't get into the details of it. I agree with Lance. We don't have to get into the.
We've got to argue on the Senate floor.
We don't have to have that take on a podcast.
Yeah. I mean, we can get to
Look at you agreeing with that.
I would dice him up with razor blades and drop him in the ocean.
Okay.
Just back to the CGI
but I
sharks.
can't ask.
There goes the monetization.
I can't ask where we're gonna.
Wait, why is that a problem?
Well, Brown, if you're looking for an answer, let's go $100,000.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, $100,000.
Brown, you have brought up this scene a lot. The severed horse scene in The Godfather.
It's my least favorite scene in the movie, by the way. It's just so unrealistic.
Is that Godfather 1 or 2?
That is in the original Godfather.
You say it was unrealistic. It was a real horse head, and it was based on something that had happened before.
No, it's unrealistic that, A, you're going to sever a horse's head that cleanly, A. B, you're going to get it in a guy's bed without waking him up.
He was pilled up.
Yeah.
No, it's very unrealistic.
And they've done this before. This was really done by the mob.
No, it done right here. So. A severed horse's head has been discovered on a Sicilian businessman's property in a chilling mafia-style threat echoing scenes from The Godfather. Yeah. Construction contractor made the grim discovery in the cab of a bulldozer near the regional capital of Palermo. Now, sparking an immediate response from Italy's heavily armed Special Operations Unit, which covers organized crime. The businessman is reported to be a well-known figure in his local community who regularly undertakes building work for local councils. Now, this is a historic stronghold place for the mafia. Now, the whole island is being forced to endure the influence of the notorious Casa Nostra for more than a century, while across Italy, organized crime groups are known to exert their influence over the construction industry.
I don't, do you put the horse's head in the guy's bed because that was his prized possession? That was the horse.
But, I mean,
I don't know why we keep doing it now.
It's quite the statement.
It is a statement.
Now, putting in bed is one thing, but you've had people that's gone out and shoot cows or horses or dogs and thrown them in people's yard that their favorite dog or things like that.
I mean, I had a dead fish on my front porch, and you guys thought it was a message from somebody. I just think it was
100%.
No, it was not. I just think it was a fox that drug it up there. There's a fox that's on the loose right there in our portion of the neighborhood.
Yeah, but by the way, did I tell you when I was in Vegas playing golf, a coyote walked up onto the green with us, and we didn't run or anything.
I don't think you want to run there.
It was just so natural that we'd seen them all throughout, roadrunners and
you
coyotes.
let him nibble on your payday?
Well, it was actually closer to the one guy on the trip I didn't really like. But
get it.
He was like, it was about where that wall is on the green, closer to my friend Runt from up in Pittsburgh.
Right.
And he was closer to him on the green over there, so I wasn't going to run. I was like, Runt, watch out, that coyote's coming this way. And the thing walked right up on us.
That's when you give it a little fireball on one of those, what do you call them, Vegas vitamin?
Yeah, but he actually looked like, and I know it changes quickly, but he looked like just a not a well-kept, but a friendly little fella.
Well, they battle for their meals.
Yeah.
Hey, while we're on the mafia, has everybody seen the photos of Jay Leno? And people are saying he got beat up by the mafia?
No.
Oh, God. Pull this up, Tyler. Now, he says he fell
several times.
And I just want to say, I've always liked Jay Leno. I got nothing against Jay Leno, and I hope he fell because I hope the other thing is not the case. But people are saying that the mafia came after Jay Leno.
What would the reason be?
Well, I guess he would owe him money. Just any of those photos.
But why would they just pop up the mafia? Why would they not be like a jealous husband whipped his ass?
Well, I don't know. I'm just saying that's the photo.
That's pretty bad.
That's pretty bad. He's having to wear an eye patch. His whole face is bruised.
Did he kick his teeth in?
Yeah, it does look like a kick to the side of the head.
Yeah.
The article says he fell down a 60-foot hill.
That's his story, yes. And I have no reason to doubt that story.
I doubt it because there's no cuts.
But people are speculating that it was a mob hit.
You can't fall down a 60 hill, have that kind of bruising, and not have any cuts with all the debris. I mean, unless it's like just a clean, I don't even know, like all grass hill.
Yeah.
I still think you'd pick up a rock or something.
Yeah, you
somewhere.
would. Yeah.
But I mean, Jay's not hurting for money though. He's got all those cars he can sell.
That's what you think.
Just flip a car too.
Yeah, but people are saying the video is even worse than the photo.
Okay, I'm going to give you our final headline here, and you guys tell me how this thing played out. 10-year-old calls 911 for help with math homework.
Well,
I mean, it's an emergency. When's it due? If it's due tomorrow, I need help.
I mean, at age 10, I hope we're gentle with the 10-year-old there.
Yeah.
I mean, that's...
But it is a teaching moment.
It is a teaching moment. There's no doubt.
Wisconsin Sheriff's Office used to responding to emergency requests, but one of the deputies fielded an unexpected call recently from a 10-year-old kid who called in to ask for help on the math homework.
The feel-good result is the deputy goes and helps her with the homework. That's what
Shawano County Sheriff George Lesner told Good Morning America the child reached longtime dispatcher Kim Krause when they dialed 911 on November 15th. And after informing the child the emergency line isn't for homework, They offered to assist nonetheless. Quote, she had some time, so she said, can I help you with your problem? And, well, he gave this long problem with decimals, and she was unable to help. So she informed him, well, let me see if I've got a deputy near your house. Lesnar said, although the Shawano County Sheriff's Office, which serves about 42,000 residents in a mostly rural area about 40 miles west of Green Bay, tends to be busy, Deputy Sheriff Chase Mason happened to be available and was at the right place at the right time. Quote, this isn't something we really normally do, but it wasn't busy at the time. He was in the area, so he stopped by. Mason has a stepson that's about the same age, so he sat down, helped the child with their math. It just worked out, and it was a good day for it.
Great public servant right there.
Yeah.
That's good for him. By the way, Deputy Mason.
Good story to end on right there.
Make the blue proud.
Way to go. That is our trash today, brought to you by
our friends at Mortgage Right. Look, if you're in the home buying mode right now, there is no cost or obligation just to reach out. So whether you're looking for your final home or first home, whether you have a big down payment or need 100% financing, call them 205-900-7200 or mortgageright.com.
Milton said Leno had a car blow up on him too recently. Now, do you believe the Muffin?
Wow.
Is that true?
Yeah, that actually happened. He had a bunch of bad burns, had to have a lot of surgeries done.
Yeah.
But the question is, why did the car blow up in the first place?
Well,
I mean,
no, that's right. That's textbook.
We're putting puzzle pieces together here.
I tell you, boy, they're sending the wrong guys.
Yeah. You're just sending a message. You want your money.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now he does have a fishing excursion coming up, right?
Conan O'Brien won, by the way. Conan won.
Yeah. Him and Fredo on a boat. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Or he's Fredo, actually.
Come on, Big Leno, hop in. Let's hit the song. It's our Buffalo Wild Wings pick 3. Only 2 more times to do this, and this is this week and next week. Hit it, man.
Pick 3, it's time for the pick 3. 3 for you and 3 for me, that equals a pick 3. Say goodbye to your family, it's time for the pick 3. Only time that I'm happy is when it's time for pick 3.
That's what you can do right there at nextroundlive.com, nextroundlive.com. Go play all the way up until kickoff tomorrow, brought to you by B-Dubs.
11 Central Alabama locations, including the Buffalo Wild Wings Go location in Vestavia, wall-to-wall TVs, all locations, 26 sauces and seasonings, along with a full menu of great burgers, wraps, salads. Get it all weekend. Check out the Saturday football acts, NFL Sunday ticket at Buffalo Wild Wings.
All right. Let's see. Is this the one we have rules? No, that's upset alert. What are our standings? Our pick 3 standings going in.
Oh, I'm a game back.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, LT. I mean, LT, you basically need 2 3-0s.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I got a 3-0 today, though.
Okay,
I do feel good about that.
LT can close the gaps. Not over yet.
I want to start.
Start us off.
All right.
I've talked about it all week. I think Kansas, the Grim Reaper. We heard the meme on Monday from Joel Klatt. First it was Iowa State, then it was BYU. And I know Fuhrman said, I didn't like the way they performed against BYU. Here's what I liked. They won with offense against Iowa State. They won with actually defense. So they get it done both ways. Kansas, one of the best red zone offenses in all of football. They are finally playing their best football. I think they knock off Colorado, Notre Dame. I told you, minus 13.5. This is a gift against Army. Army has played absolutely no one. And then Auburn. The Tigers plus 2.5 at home against Texas A&M. I've talked that one up all week as well.
Well, I tell you, I am against Lance on this Kansas-Colorado game here. I like me some Buffs in this one, man. The Buffs minus 2.5. Coach
When you were breaking
Prime.
this game down, what'd you see?
Oh, I mean, well, I like the matchup, specifically that Colorado defensive front coached by Warren Sapp against that Kansas offensive line, which at times this year has been a sieve, Jim. Jalen Daniels will be running for his life a lot against Coach Sapp's defensive front there for Colorado. That's going to be the difference of the game.
If you were with us 12 minutes ago, he got these picks from Tyler.
Yes, noted sports analyst Tyler Johns. Ohio State minus 10.5. Coach Sig in Indiana. It's been a fun run, guys. This has been a cool story. It's over. It is OVER. Ohio State's about to put that to an end. And then how is Boise only laying 22.5 at Wyoming, Jim?
How'd you misspell it?
Damn it. I've got Boise State. I was in a hurry, Jim. Tyler gave me these picks later. Boise State minus 22.5.
Like, I've known you forever. Are you dyslexic?
I am, actually.
Are you really?
Yeah, do you feel bad now?
Why have you never told me?
Because I'm embarrassed by it. Now, I'm not embarrassed by it. I don't really care. I transpose numbers and letters all the time. I have to go back. Yeah, I really do. I've done it. I've done it all through college.
And we put you in charge of finances up here.
No, we did not. Yes, everyone. I know Boise is misspelled. I got it. Yeah. No, I've always transposed numbers and letters.
I did not know that about you.
I do, yeah. Like I will write.
See, I wish you would. Like I'm so truthful about all my inadequacies on the show. I wish you were more human sometimes. You seem so robotic sometimes. You never share with us what your struggles. I never knew that. We will stop. I mean, you do it almost every week in the headlines. I'm sad to know this now.
Yeah, it's been something I've dealt with. I mean, it's not that big a deal, really. Like, I haven't had to seek counseling.
Do you get special parking?
I do not.
Yeah.
Nope. I can't park either, though. You've seen me try to park. I'm terrible, and I've admitted that. Like, I can pull straight into a parking spot, and I'll be too close to one line or the other.
Most people are. There's somebody that drives a Lexus. They double park, and it's one of those, they haven't washed it in forever. It's got the bald tires. You can tell they don't really take care of it. In our parking lot, and they double park all the time. Yeah. And it's not just a little bit over the line. It's like literally double parking.
Yeah. Now, I don't
you know what I'm talking about?
I know exactly who you're talking about.
Yeah, and I've thought about leaving some notes with my name and number and just saying, hey, look, man,
let's talk about this.
Yeah, I don't I've never been, like, diagnosed as dyslexic. Maybe I am. I don't know. But I've always struggled with transposing letters and numbers. I don't know why.
I've got one of my really good friends and brilliant guy.
Well, I don't like
just one of those things when you look at something, sometimes you can't process it. Right?
Sometimes it's just backwards to me.
I don't like the Boise State pick, but I do like the Ohio State pick there. Give me Ole Miss, Ohio State, and Oklahoma. I'm going to like Ole Miss minus, it was a 12 when I looked at it at MyBookie, so 11.5, 10.5 on Ohio State, and then Oklahoma plus the 13.5 to keep it close against Alabama.
That's a really good Ohio State logo there. You did very, very nice work there.
Yeah, that was my favorite one.
Yeah.
A little bit of the holidays.
And now people in the chat room are saying they feel bad for laughing. Don't feel bad for laughing.
Yeah, Brown, I give a shit.
I don't care.
Hey, do you think if Ohio State changed that to, would the recruiting go up if it was a
marijuana leaf?
Yeah, a little weed?
I don't think they have to change it. It looks exactly the same.
Yes. All you got to do is tell them that's what it actually is.
I've got some Las Vegas vitamins that absolutely
look like the Ohio State logo?
Just like it. Like, oh, man, this package had a really good game against somebody. got 3 helmet stickers. Yeah, and 10 grams, all right there. All right, that is our Buffalo Wild Wings pick 3. It is nextroundlive.com, nextroundlive.com. Go and play all the way up until kickoff. Try to go 3-0. You get a chance to win $250 gift card from our friends at B-Dubs and $250 in the Next Round store for the grand prize winner. Only need one ball in the bucket to do it. Nextroundlive.com, nextroundlive.com. And go check out the store while you're there. I'm just dumb, Brown.
I am too.
Yeah.
I'm an idiot. I didn't finish college. I mean, what do you think? I think I'm smart or something?
You took on Spanish with that challenge? Good for you, man. All right, we're back at 9 a.m. tomorrow morning.
It made as much sense as English to me.
9 a.m. tomorrow morning with our kickoff show. I'll try to learn more about my best friend, Ryan Brown, and I've known him for 20 years, on that show tomorrow morning.
You said last week you don't know me anymore. You apparently don't know Brown.
I'm your best friend.
I've got, Tyler doesn't like me anymore. By Christmas, I'll be out of here, man. Until next time, God bless you. God bless America.